That's interesting. I got fail and Satan. Satan is kind of like the B-tier version of the devil. All right, into the box of next game. I'm gonna take my alcohol with me. Can I throw this? Like, does this count as something I can throw? If I throw this, do I get 3 extra balls? Oh, you totally do. What do you get if you go hamster? What is that? Oh, I get nothing. Okay. I really want the hamster. I kind of want to know. Oh, that's a pineapple. I mean, I love pineapple. I didn't get any pineapple. I've been lied to. Where's my pineapple? All right, well, oh. Ah! Ah! Yay! Welcome to Rope Swing. Elements. Well, that was quick. Air. Okay. And down the little air chute. This is very aesthetically pleasing level. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still, whoa! Probably going to murder me a bunch. Oh yeah, down the sweet clouds of water. Now we're going to grab onto the anchor of Valhalla and a big jump. I have no idea where I'm going. Whoa! Uh-oh. Oh, I landed in, I don't know what this is. Could be lovely green grass. It could also be toxic acid. All right, air, big jump, release, down. Water! Vikings! Why? I have no idea. Vikings! Ah! Oh, just relax. Everything's gonna be fine. I lost my... Beware, do not grab its tongue. Oh, I wish I would have known that before I grabbed its tongue. And I lost both of my arms. Am I about to be pooped out by a whale? Do not tell me that. Oh my God! I don't have any arms. I do not have any arms. This is so bad right now. No, Earth, don't you do it. I don't have anything, I don't have a way to grab you. No! All right, your board's legit. I have been stabbed in the groin. I was too busy like getting pooped out the last time. I never realized that there is a tagline that specifically says this is a whale. Well, I've got one arm. I don't know how valuable that is. Like if that's enough to complete the Earth challenge here. I mean, I'm gonna give it a shot. One arm powers, activate. I'm so dead. Was one arm enough to defeat the powers of Earth? Spoiler alert, no. All right, I've got both my arms. I've got both my legs. We're doing good. Ah! This level's really good at taking away hope. Okay, once again, I have both arms and both legs. Can we not have those ripped off my body, please? I like how I say that and the game's like, that's fine, we'll just rip your body off your body. There we go. Oh yeah, excellent. Ah, the sweet taste of Earth. I love it. As a matter of fact, you probably want to grab the Earth way in the backside of the vine. There it is. And, oh, fire. Yes, good. That was really close. I almost died right then. Fire. Uh-oh. Oh, God! Okay, fire. It's you and me this time. I don't know if I need to grab the very edge of the fire sausage here. Fire sausage! Go! I don't know how far. Whoa! I am grabbing onto the sun. Is this like bad that I'm... Oh! How long is this level? I'm not gonna lie, the amount of effort that you put into this is astronomical. Hope I didn't need that foot. Oh, God! Oh, hope I didn't need that other foot. I did need those extra feet. I just noticed, too, I've done this a lot, and it says everything's going to be fine. I can now 100% tell you that that is a Titanic lie. Everything is not going to be fine. I just lost a leg. Things are not fine. Well, this is quite problematic because my leg has followed me down. All right. I need to clear so much distance. All right, well, that works out good. On the plus side, I can't touch any of the spikes because there's not much of me left. So grab the fire, big jump, triple axle flip. Oh, wow. I cleared so much air. I got to the very edge of the fire. That's kind of amazing. All right, so big fire jump, grab the rope. I don't know, fly off. I have no idea what kind of distance I need to do. We're still going. Finally, I have gotten through all of the elements and China Taco is there. You've heard of freeze wall. This is freeze ball. You have to freeze the balls and not get blown up. Oh, that was terrible. Well, that was pretty good. How, like, how close together? Well, I made an excellent wall. That is incredible. Oh, no. Ah! Okay, all right. It's fine. That's fine. Not gonna lie, that very first try that I just did, I don't think I will ever do anything that good. You know what? Can I just escape this? We're not dealing with this. Oh, God. Not gonna lie, this is pretty tough because the balls do not give you much protection, man. Okay, this is, I have created quite the maze that these death creatures, oh, it missed the top. Okay, I need one higher. Oh, no, I said higher, not that high. Less high. Okay, but that's good too. Almost there, and then the rest of the balls dodged the ball that I needed. I'm so dead. Oh! Don't move. Do not move, Nixon. No. Oh. Oh, thank you. This is called impossible 90%. You know better than that. Going right down there. Oh, yeah. Oh, whoa! I told you not to go down here. Yeah, I'm talking to you specifically, Gray. Now, you may tell me not to go down here, but I gotta try something, okay? Oh, my God! I just wanted to live past your little trap. All right, now that's done. Okay. Ow. All right. Okay. Oh, yeah, we're just gonna flutter kick past all this. Yeah! This is called Escape Florida. All right, here we are. Getting skin cancer. Bunch of shout outs. No one can see me. What is happening in this bush right here? What is this? What sort of felonious activity is going on in Florida? I want to know. Okay, we've got some, multiplying watermelons. Very common in Florida. Very common. There's a Florida man on a toilet. Also very common in Florida. We don't have bathrooms. We just use the toilet in the middle of the street. Now, you may have seen that guy go to the moon from his toilet. Also very common in Florida. Wow. I just lost both of my legs. Very common in Florida. I have no idea what is going on this board. Stop blowing me up. Stop it. There we go. Ow. Oh, luckily I have this watermelon to save me. Gray still plays. No one escapes Florida on my watch. That's right. Once in Florida, always in Florida, baby. Over the toilet. Over the rest of the toilets. Over the, whoa, what happened there? Oh yeah, I love getting crossbow bolts up the butt. Slow. Move forward if nothing happens. That looks like something that wants to fall on me. Maybe it's just me. All right, hold on, let's see. You gonna do it to me? You gonna do it to me? I see Gray still plays. He is riding on the shoulders of these two children for some reason. Go. Ah, oh. Huh, that wasn't that bad. I escaped Florida. Welcome to Glass Bridge. Hi. Ow. All right. Okay. Obviously, you're not meant to just sit around all willy-nilly. And now there is a trick to get to glass bridges like this. Normally, you would say to yourself, oh, it's no big deal. I'll just use my pogo stick. But you see what happens if you do? You get stabbed in the cranium with a machete. Actually, don't know why that's there. All right, so let's jump over this problem. And now we're just gonna roll. Use my face right there to break that glass. We're just gonna roll to success. Look at that, right there. Look at the skill. All right, look at the agility. Glass is getting a little thin. Not worried though. Not worried at all. As long as I don't get assaulted by like Jason Voorhees or something while I'm almost at the end, we should be just fine. And there you go. I get to enjoy some quality time with this trash can. Welcome to the Pogo Adventure. Every time I see the word adventure in Happy Wheels, all I can think about is pain. The Pogo pain. That's what this board truly says. All right, still easy. No problem. All right, a bit harder. Sure. Now, what you want to do is you want to jump into a jump. See that? Look at that. jump into a jump. Easy. Oh, you are legendary. Well, that's nice. Legendary. Oh, I almost used my teeth right there. Boom. Right over. No big deal. Piece of cake. Slightly moldy piece of cake. Okay. And then, this one's gonna be kind of hard. Come on, baby. You may need to use the super fast kick method right there. There we go. Now, sometimes you want to go feet first, see? Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, this one's pretty tough. Still doable, but it ain't easy. There we go. Just got to do the worm. A little bit of violent pelvic thrusting. Don't be afraid to use your pogo stick. That's what it's there for anyway. And now for a bunch of balls. Where are they? I suggest you eject for this part. You know what? I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to keep my pogo stick. My pogo stick and I have been together forever. Okay? And my pogo stick is not going to leave. Whoa! Okay, that was almost bad. I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything's okay. My pogo stick's not gonna leave me. I'm not gonna leave my pogo stick. We're doing this together. I don't care what it takes. Just kind of go down here. There we go. Cranial projectile vomiting. And there you have it. The pogo stick and I made it to the end. Pogo stick. Save. The time. Now, in case you're wondering what just happened there, my child is getting a massage. That was a skull massage. Very common for children his age to do better in math. It's like a math tutor. So, who do I have to save? Please, okay? I'm gonna save them. Where they at? Oh, we are flying. Whoa! Hey! Level 1. Ow! I did not realize that guy was going to violently lunge at me with his katana. All right. Not today. Yeah, who's next? Who else wants a piece of... Whoa! Huh, that was a heat-seeking battle axe. This is how we complete this. Yeah. Not today. Yeah. Whoa! Ow! Ooh, level 2, complete the parkour. Oh, God. All right, we're gonna need a little bit of speed for this. A little bit of speed. Godlike speed. Oh, whoa. Oh, my God. Ow! Whoa! There's a lot happening. You're doing good. No, I'm not. There's a lot to this board, man. Parkour. Still parkouring. Tons of parkouring. Ah! Oh, the spear is in my butt. It's fine. It's fine. Go full speed. All right, here we go. Full speed. Over the pit. Whoop. Level 3. Past all the falling instruments of death. Through the glass. All right, now slow. Oh, this is a pitfall. Yeah! This is called Hobo's Power. I love the title screen when I was talking about this. All right, well, I can't leave. So where's the hobos at? Hobo's Weak Clone. Power 1 alcohol. Oh, he tried to drop some bottles on me. That wasn't that bad. All right. What else we got? Hobo's normal clone. Alcoholic Rain. Oh, boy. Okay. All right, that was a little bit more concerning. We're fine, though. I will not succumb to the alcoholism. Hobo's final clone. Whoa! Did I dodge him? Did I get him? Did we win? Is there like a fourth hidden hobo? Or are we done? Lord Hobo. Yeetus! Fall down the pit. Through here. There we go. Yay! You know a level's gonna be legit when it starts with some shout-outs, such as Elizabeth Skywalker, Alex with a lot of numbers. It's me! Now, before I start this board, can I leave? The answer is no. All right, what do you got for me? Bottomless pit. Can I go over the pit? I did it. I've gone over the pit. Oh, I am sliding into the pit. I am down the pit. I'm now in the pit. What is happening? Oh, okay. I'll just kind of do the what? Am I in the tar? Where am I? Oh, I'm stuck. Like I am legitimately stuck down here. What kind of weird anti-gravity muck is this? I can't get out. Okay, I'm assuming what I have to do is go to the right. Okay, down the bottomless pit. And then ricochet off, go over here. Then we're gonna curl up, loop it outward, slide on down. Nice and easy. Now I have to, oh my God! My knees! Luckily, I was wearing knee pads. Now I get to languidly move along on top of this here minecart. Oh, Reginald! Hey, Reginald. Do you have any, ow, stop it. Do you have anything to tell me? Can I click on you? No? Are you gonna eat me? If I go past here? Problems? Nope. All right, we're going. Ooh. Okay. Then we, well, that was very surprising. Oh, God. All right, down the pit, off the wall, hit the ledge, bloop on over, go on down, dodge the minecart. Ah! Oh, that was almost bad. Pass by Reginald. Land on the ledge. Land on the other ledge. Oh, land on the other ledge. Do I need to get any of this coal down here? Where's the iron ore at? Oh, am I supposed to go into this or does that hurt? All right, I'm just gonna take your word for it. Ah, oh, it's very Floridian down here. Ah, yes. When you can feel your scalp melting off of your skull, that's when you know it's hot enough. Do I jump upon the pepperoni? Oh, whoa. Okay, fair enough. All right, watch out for the violent pepperoni. I literally just hit every single rock with my face on the way down, and somehow I'm alive. I have no idea how that happened. Okay, so the idea here is you do not want to touch the lava. As nutritious as the lava looks, I'm dead. Second pepperoni. Off the pepperoni. Then we have to jump our way through the colon of destitution over here. You gotta kind of go at an angle. And then, this is, right, let's kind of lean, jump. I'm not gonna lie, it is not easy to carve your way through the bowels of the underworld. How are you supposed to get up here? I assume you have to, oh, God! You know what? Maybe we don't need the pogo stick. Maybe it's fine. I'm not ready to give up. I will climb my way out of this. I don't care. Oh, yeah. Oh, we don't need feet where we're going. Oh, I love the taste of the underworld. This is quite the intestinal track down to the devil. All right, nice and slow. One hand on the wall. Perfect. Yes. Good. How far down we going, man? This is a pretty long drop, I'm not gonna lie. What are you supposed to do if you were on your, oh, it is getting very hot down here. I don't know if the battery of my Samsung Note is on fire or if it's just, if I'm just like reaching the core of the earth. Okay, maybe it is the core of the earth. Red hot. Okay, we are going through the entire spectrum of colors down here. Ah! Well, hopefully I didn't need that. Oh, hey! We won! I met my buddy Seton! Well, we began with Seton and we ended with Seton. That was kind of interesting. Anyway, folks, hope you enjoyed this episode of Happy Wheels. Till next time, stay foxy, much love. All right, we're checking out the only game where dealing with parkour bulges makes my blood pressure bulge out of my vascular system. It's GTA. We wanted to put people against ridiculous bulge challenges, and so Alex has created this nightmare of a course. In this hypertension-inducing jump-a-thon, I'm gonna have to go from the beginning to the end, trying to get past all of his various bulge traps. That sounds absolutely terrible, but there's no other way to describe it. Sometimes you gotta jump just on the tip, sometimes you have to jump without getting murdered by planes, and sometimes you have to jump while the windmill in your back pocket is trying to cut you in half. Alex even told me he probably should have nerfed this, but my anguish is your content, so let's do this. This is one of those instances where I listen to the challenge placed before me, and it causes a certain amount of mental anguish. Say hello to rock bulges. Jump on the tips. Now, in order to make this challenge even more stupid, because normal jumping is for plebs, Alex has given me the super jump to make my life 1,000 times worse. Now, while having super jump seems like it would make stuff easier, all that means is he can put his obstacles that much farther apart. So what happens if you don't jump on the tips? Oh, it teleports you back to the beginning. Okay, my question is, what do you consider the tip, Alex? I can't believe I'm asking this. Ow. Oh, okay. Wow, and you cannot get off of that tip at all. Okay, so basically I have to jump on what I assume is just the highest point. There we go, of the rocks. Perfect. All right. How far can I miss the tip before I get teleported? Right around groin level. Tip number 1. No big deal. Tip number, oh, that one looks really bad. That's not a lot of space you give me there, Alex. Also, maybe it's just me, but I can kind of see the teleporter now. Oh, okay. I got like a 3-foot area to land in. Are you kidding me? How are you supposed to do this? Like the big flat area over here, I can understand, but like, look at how tiny this is. Oh, come on, no. Now I understand. When Alex, like, at first he wasn't sure that he wanted to send me the board as it was. He wanted to like make it easier. Oh, yes! Now I understand why. If this is the very first challenge and it's, oh my God, what is going on over there? And what is this? How are you supposed, it's like 6 inches of landing space. All right, line it up, big jump. Then you gotta watch your descent, and I messed that up. I'm getting pretty good at landing on top of the middle finger rock. Look at that. Every time. And this one over here is kind of weird because it's like shucked off to the it's like off to the side. Okay, so this is another kind of flat area, but at least I get okay, at least I get some space to move around. Here we go. That looks good.
I don't want to do this no more.
I landed on my feet for once. That's amazing. Usually I land on my head. Use my head to break my fall. Come on, baby. Yeah! Ah, no! I hate myself more than you can possibly understand because I was there. I had that. And now I have to go through all of this all over again. Although I will say, this is a skill set I never thought I would have to perfect. I am becoming excellent at understanding exactly where I need to drop on these things. Look at this. That was like one shot right through to the 5th rock. Now this one, it's all just steep. Like you can't land on the edge because you'll slide off. So I have to land directly on the tip or I have no chance. All right, get lined up with the gun. We're gonna send it. See that? The gun helps you line it up. Boom! Thank God he's given me checkpoints because I would probably shoot myself if I had to do this like over and over again. Also, what's going on down there with the police? No! Now you may have seen me fall at the very last second when I went to go look at that police shootout. I'm fine. Most of my hemoglobin count is destroyed by the fact that I got all the way to the end before I got reset back to the beginning. Just let me have this. Let me have this. Okay, one last, just give me this jump. And I'm not waiting anymore. We're going straight for the checkpoint because I'm not trying to mess around with this again. Yeah, okay. I swear to God, Alex, if you put this too far away for me to jump. Oh, okay, good. And we have a checkpoint. Got it. Welcome to Bulky Bulges. Plus, Stalking Windmill. The way that you name these, Alex, it's very difficult to say with a straight face. I wanted to nerf it, but I forgot. Okay, yeah, I know, you told me. Was the very first part totally what you had intended? Because it took me like 20 minutes to just get through that first part. Oh my God. Oh, the windmill pushes you off too. It windmills normally and then it spins on top of that. All right, we're just gonna, how are you even supposed to do this? Because, yeah, oh, I can run. I guess I can run with the windmill. The windmill is almost like the goalie of a, wow. The windmill almost hit me into the water. The windmill is like a goalie trying to keep me from scoring. So we're gonna land on the bulge and then I guess like jump in front of the windmill because the windmill follows you very, very quickly. The windmill is, am I on the windmill? Oh, you could climb the windmill. I mean, I guess you could. I just hadn't really thought about it. All right, we're just gonna. Well, it's like going over a buddy's house and then they offer you something to eat for lunch and you're like, no, no, no. I've already had windmill, thank you very much. Had it shoved down my throat. Okay, this is good. This is bad. This is fine. I'm on the windmill, sweet. Okay, over the black bulge there, and then back onto the marble thing, or whatever this is. I have no, it's like linoleum or something. Okay, climbing the windmill is the key strat here. Because once you're on it, there's nothing it can do. Okay, sweet, we're doing good. This is looking great. I can kind of stand up here for a moment of solace, although the blades come unbelievably close to my body every couple of seconds. Big jump. Perfect landing. Oh yeah, we're doing good. Oh, no! It pushed me mid-jump! Okay, so I can kind of change, I can kind of change my trajectory in midair now and again. It's just, wow, okay, the windmill pushed me a little farther. The windmill's helping out a little bit. I appreciate that. No! Why? We were friends for like 5 seconds. You lied to me, windmill. Oh. Save! Oh, God. Ow! No! This windmill challenge is unbelievably annoying. I almost got across the river there. I keep thinking, like, maybe if I just go fast as possible, I can outrun the windmill. You can't! Like, what are you supposed to? Well, I'm gonna drown now. But what are you supposed to do? Okay, this is a great run so far. Okay, I haven't died. We are scaling the bulge. Perfect landing. Very good. Gonna jump onto the next one. Oh, this is, no! Oh my God! Ugh. I think that's a new record for the furthest a gray still plays has been shot put across the board. I'm not giving up. I don't care what it takes. Okay, second bulge. Hold on, I can save this. Yeah! Yeah, you thought you had me, didn't you, windmill? But I had you! I don't really, no! It's almost like the windmill is gaining a certain level of AI power. Eventually, I'm gonna have a windmill just randomly show up at my front door. I'm gonna hear my doorbell ringing. I'm gonna look at the ring on my phone, and I'm just gonna see a windmill chilling out in my entryway, looking at the camera solemnly. Okay, so far so good. I don't think I've gotten past the Taj Mahal of sadness over here yet. God, I can't. I'm trying. Come on, just give me this. Yeah! Ah, safety. So now I have to get to what looks like a malformed pumpkin. Looks like a pumpkin with a, I don't know, almost like a gland problem or maybe a tumor on it or something. We're almost there. Yeah, I got halfway up it. Can I jump from here? No. Can I jump from here? No. It's almost like if you rub against the side of the pumpkin, you can't get your full super jump. Oh, I know. Hold on. I can jump from the windmill. We're going to wait for it to kind of line up. Yeet us our way up. Perfect. So now I just, no, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, I was going to do some narrative. I was going to do some narrative work and it screwed me over. Oh, no. I'm gonna need to take salt supplements for the amount of tears that this board, oh God. Oh, I hate you so much. This board is dehydrating me. Cause all of my come on! All of my hydration is on the floor in front of my desk. Come on. Okay, good run. Big jump, just stay in the air, Gray. The more you there's no place safe. Nowhere is safe. It's kind of true, like no matter what I do and no matter where I go, I have tried almost everything to figure out if there's a way I can cheat this windmill to just be free of its constant beating. And oh my God, no. And there's really not, it's just luck. You just, ooh. You know, I have an idea. There's something I can do from now on if I get stuck by the windmill. If I run counterclockwise, I think I can run oh my God. I can run as fast as the windmill turns. Right on the rocks. The windmill was even like, hey, Gray, this looks like the most uncomfortable place I can possibly put you. Yeah, I know. Thanks. A lot. Okay, big landing into the roll. deformed pumpkin. First stage of the pumpkin. You gotta go Super Saiyan 4 on the pumpkin. Okay, and then just line it up. Big run. Jump. Please, windmill, don't follow me. Oh my God, you gave me just enough distance. We have a checkpoint. I'm not gonna lie, Alex. If I didn't make that jump, I don't think I'd have a soul anymore. I think it would have just left my body. Top Gun bulges. Don't quite understand. Well, I guess I do understand it, the planes. Okay, so I guess what is even the point of this? Why don't can't you just like run to the end? Are there like teleporters here? There's no teleporters. You should have put teleporters down, Alex. Yeah, you did. What'd you think? Think I was just gonna jump on all the planes? You gotta be kidding me. You don't know the... Did you put this too high to super jump? Okay, all right, okay, you know what? That's good. That's a pretty good block right there. Okay, that's developer beta test worthy. So how about if I just jump on this plane and then just jump from there and just circumvent all the other planes? Okay, so real quick update for you guys. I have been trying to cheat this board that he made. Every single plane, except for the first plane, is too steep to jump on. This is why he didn't put any teleporters down here, because there's no way to circumvent the board. You have to start at the first plane, the pink plane, because he put it down the furthest. So that's the only plane that you can land on the cockpit area up here, right here. This is the only one that you can do this. I feel kind of bad because I feel like part of the time he spends on making these boards is dedicated to giving me the faintest... Oh, wow. So this thing like does a loop and tries to murder you. Is dedicated to giving me the faintest glimmer of hope. It is! Oh my God! That I can cheat his board only to find out that he's put a counter cheat measure in there somewhere. And if the plane hits you, you die. Okay, this challenge is no joke. Because you have to time the plane, and then I got like 3 seconds to jump this. Oh my God. How am I supposed to line this up and jump it? I have no time. Right the second it goes by. Okay, jump, land it, just, I don't know, right about here. Big jump, and oh, it's gonna be close. No! God! This is painful. This challenge is brutal. You were talking about nerfing the other challenge? There we go, okay. This challenge is twice as bad as the stalking windmill. Oh, it's 2 planes, and they're circling, and they're trying to knock you off the nose. The second the plane goes by, we're gonna send it. There we go. And then land it, and then, no, no, God, no, God, no, God, please, God, no. No! What? At least if I land on my feet, I don't die. It's kind of interesting. This is so, there we go. Okay. Oh my God, I almost rolled off. This is unbelievable. I can kind of jump though, yeah. I can kind of jump. Oh my God, what am I supposed to do? Oh, huh. I can just hang out under the plane. I can kind of jump as the plane is coming through the nose cone. And I have plenty of time to land it. Oh my God, they passed by this one too. Luckily, these bars broke my fall and my spine. Okay, wait for it. Get onto the nose cone. Line it up. Oh, I shouldn't have hesitated. Now there's thinly sliced gray on everyone's deli sandwich. Come on, just one time. Just one time. This is good. This is good. This is good. Yeah! Okay, and we're just gonna roll. We're just gonna roll and hope. Oh my God! Oh, my blood pressure is now in the quadruple digits, which is great. And now I have to deal with jet planes. I would want to jump probably when the planes are, yeah. When the planes are at their furthest. I hate myself. We're doing good. Pina colada flavored. Now we've got to jump on blue raspberry. I missed. So I'm in a... Oh God, hold on. Oh, save it! Yes! No! You took it from me. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're on blue raspberry. Okay. And then just wait. Watch out for the jets. Go ahead and stick this landing. Okay, sticks the landing. I'm on the cockpit, but it's okay. I just need to jump up here as the plane goes by, and then we're gonna. Okay. I've got the pattern. All right, ready? Wait for it to go by. And then underneath the wheel, the landing gear. This is happening. A checkpoint! Oh, I look behind me at the agony I just had to deal with. And then I look forward and see multiple choice spinning poppers with small death black holes bulges.
I don't know what any of this means.
Well, I guess now I know why he didn't give me any gun. So all he gave me was a stun gun for this challenge. It's so I can't pop the poppers with the bullets. So basically I have to guess, I assume, which one of these is the right one. Now can you jump? What in the, oh my, what happened? Whoa. What is going on? What kind of poltergeist? Okay, so I learned there are anti-cheat measures on all the platforms. So I'm gonna pick pink because obviously I landed into the black hole and the black hole murdered my skeletal system. Great. I was using that skeletal system. So blue, oh, you have to land on it though. Okay, let's try this again. Blue, and you have to kind of shortchange the landing. So you want to land nice and early. Okay, left or right? Obviously, we're gonna go with left because I'm left-handed. Alex probably knows that, so he probably, yep, put a black hole there. Of course he did. Okay, so blue, then we have to jump to the right. Right banana cream, perfect. Okay, well left was the wrong answer last time. So let's go with the middle. Because obviously then the answer would be right? So instead we're gonna pick the middle. Yeah, I knew it. Okay, now spinning, red or gray. Now I'm gray, but I spray a lot of red. So we're gonna pick red. Because I feel like, I thought gray would be the obvious choice and he wouldn't make it that. Okay, so middle. And then, so it is going to be gray, so we have to jump this and land it. Oh, that's pretty good. And now I have to move with it because it does move under you. So now it's yellow or blue. I think I've been wrong every time so far, except for once. So it's like maybe whatever I think is the right answer, I should just go with the opposite answer. So blue. I missed it. Now I'm gonna die. Or am I? Nope, I am. Okay, gray. I mean, not me, the color gray. What happened here? What is this? Whoa, okay, whoa. Yeah, I'm gonna pick yellow. Hey, that was weird. Oh, maybe I can, oh, sweet. Oh, no! No! Yes! No, yes! Let me have this! Just let me, what in the name of, oh my God, I am on top of something. I am on top of Alex's hidden death trap. But it didn't kill me, so that's kind of cool. Oh, wow, it is moving much faster now. All right, orange or green? Green. And perfect landing. I'm inside the black hole. Okay, so we're gonna go to orange. And then it's orange or pink. He wouldn't make it orange twice though, right? Actually, that's exactly what he would do. Now. Oh no, I'm shortchanging. I guess we're doing pink. Oh my God, I'm so glad. Okay, well, I totally wanted to pick orange, but whatever. Okay, now I can't screw this up. Line it up right at the edge. Big jump. And we have a checkpoint. Say hello to bulging bulges. Okay, I don't know how you can bulge a bulge any more than a bulge can bulge, but I guess we're about to find out. So you jump on the bulge and then what? What does this do? There's nothing. Nothing's happening. Oh, what the? Okay. What is this? Look at them. They're just like randomly popping up. Does it kill you? Like there is no rhyme or reason to any of this. Can I just go around it? Oh, you can. Sweet. Okay, so from what I've seen, oh, hold on. Oh God, please don't do this. Don't do it. From what I've seen, you can kind of try and circumvent these. The problem is when they pop back up, they will murder you. Jump. Wait until you think they're about to pop like that. Then you jump. And then we're gonna, oh God. Okay, we'll stick the landing here and wait for it to stay up. Then you're gonna jump. If you go through it, that's okay. Just kind of make sure to miss it and go off to the, ow! I was gonna say go off to the side. Sometimes it shoots up in the air and it'll fire you right off the board because suddenly the prop comes like into being and it just shoots your body off to the side. But this is okay. We're doing, I mean, we're still alive. Oh, what the, oh my God. What happened to the, what happened? Oh, it falls through the board. This is a mess. This entire challenge is so wild. I'm trying valiantly to see if I can either cheat it. If you do it the right way, yeah. If you do it the right way is actually best. So we're gonna jump. Yeah, see, now it's up. Now the other one's down, and we're gonna have to, I needed to jump like right away when I landed that. So yeah, you can't restart because there's no way to land on top of it because what happens is it'll shoot, oh, never mind. Hold on, maybe I can land this. Well, now I can't because it's too much of a free fall. Ah! This is such a mind-bending challenge because it feels, none of it makes any sense. It feels like I shouldn't, hold on, no, I thought I could save it. There's instances where I feel like I shouldn't be getting knocked off, but it hits your body, like it really hits your body across the entire challenge. So there are spots. Okay, it's just, yeah. So if you jump during the pop-up, you can kind of make it. And I think that at this point, this one's stable. Yeah, okay, cool. So all the other ones fly around. The first and last one don't. Perfect landing at the end. Now we have to deal with the Pepto-Bismol pill that's blocking the very end. But it's okay. We're gonna jump this. And we have a winner! Thank you, God. Ow. Well, Alex put bulges on the board, and now my sanity is bulging out of my psyche. Anyway, folks, hope you enjoyed this episode of GTA. Until next time, stay foxy and much love.
Because I thought, like, if you get the pot noodle or whatever, and it's like, beef, it's like suitable for vegetarians. They're not lying. I don't think it's just like, there's no beef in the beef. It's just chemicals. Before we jump back into today's video, I do just want to take a moment to tell you about our fantastic sponsor, and that is Sheath Underwear. Sheath make the most comfortable boxer briefs that I've ever worn, that you will ever wear. Look, you tired of boxers? Bit too loose. Briefs? Bit too... I hate briefs. Like, boxers, fine. Can understand that. Briefs, though, it's like, why? Well, look, the perfect medium between the two, not too loose, not too tight, is Sheath. I'm wearing a pair of Sheath underwear right now. Not this pair. This is a nice clean pair. And they have become a daily thing for me. I bought one pair of... I didn't buy them, to be honest. Let's be frank. Sheath sent them to me because they're a sponsor and I got them for free. But I got them. I got the one pair, and I was like, cool, these pretty nice, aren't they? And then Sheath sent me more. And now my entire underwear drawer is just Sheath. All of my other underwear just got thrown away. It got discarded like the trash that it was and made way for the glory that is Sheath. Sheath's stretchy fabric with moisture-wicking technology keep you cool and comfy no matter what you're up to. I always wear them to the gym. Plus, they got these pouches, which is a bit weird at first. Like, at first you're like, what? I put mine there and in there, and it like keeps everything in place. In the gym, that is particularly fantastic. But look, sometimes you're just not feeling that and you can just wear them like regular underwear. They're still awesome. Look, here's the deal. Head to sheathunderwear.com and check out their new bamboo pairs, which I will note, Sheath haven't sent to me yet, so I can't tell you whether they're good. But I've tried their mesh pair. I've tried their regular one. They're all fantastic. So if they were rubbish, I'd be very, very surprised. Look, they're going to be good. It's Sheath. They're going to be good. And when I get them, I'm sure I'll come back on here and be like, it turns out, guess what? The bamboo pairs were good. And everyone will be like, what a surprise, Simon. We're so shocked to hear this from you. And guess what? You can use the promo code BLAZE and you'll get a sweet 20% off your order. That's right. Go to sheathunderwear.com and use the promo code BLAZE and you'll get the most comfortable underwear you've ever worn. And now, back to today's video. As you can probably imagine, when this news became public, quite a few people were displeased. Not just those who chose to be vegetarian on ethical or dietary grounds, but also those who refused to eat beef for religious reasons. Although McDonald's would say it was not required by the US Food and Drug Administration to reveal the use of beef flavoring and that it didn't use the substance in fries sold at restaurants in India or predominantly Hindu countries, they would eventually agree to pay out approximately $10 million to the customers that claimed they'd been affected. How do you put damages on that, though? It's got to be really hard to be like, well, what's the damage you suffered? Mental distress? Quantify that. How? It just sounds like you ate something delicious. And you're like, oh, wow, these chips are amazing. And they're not vegetarian. Yeah, how do you put a price tag on that?
It just don't add up!
Along with the payout, the company issued the following generic apology letter. We regret we did not provide these customers with complete information, and we sincerely apologize for any hardship that these miscommunications have caused. While I treat all religions with equal disdain, I do believe that, wherever possible, companies should do everything they can within reason to allow people to make informed choices. I don't think I treat all religions with equal disdain. There are some religions that are just more annoying than others, and that's fine. Like, who's the people who knock on the door? And they're like, have you considered joining our... That's more annoying than, I don't know, non-evangelical religions, isn't it? Just leave me alone.
Do you have a moment to spare to talk about our Lord and Savior,
So unfortunately, I must say, poor show on this one, McDonald's. McResources. This next entry, taken from several news articles in 2013, shows that the McDonald's Corporation might just be out of touch with reality, as is known by everyone else. Wait, I didn't know the McDonald's Corporation was out of touch with reality. I thought they were super down to earth. And they're food for the common man. It's McDonald's. Everybody. It's like Coca-Cola. Everybody can have McDonald's. I can have McDonald's. The king can have McDonald's. Peasants can have McDonald's. Everybody's welcome. Times are hard for everybody, no more so than with those who work minimum wage jobs for no recognition and an unhealthy level of public abuse. But if you work for McDonald's, they offered all of their staff these helpful tips to remain happy and healthy in the workplace. Oh my God, this is going to be so cringe. Whenever companies try to do this, it's so cringe. It's like The Office, but in real life.
No, God!
Everybody is now aware that suffering from too much stress can lead to inconveniences such as heart attacks. Not only is having a heart attack bad for your health, it usually necessitates taking some time off work to recover. And who can afford that? Not to worry, McDonald's knows how to keep you safe. The McResources page on their staff website recommended that employees take 2 vacations a year to reduce the risk of heart attack. At first, you might think that the suggestion is ridiculous. I mean, how are these people supposed to afford to take 2 holidays every year on such a meager salary? I don't want to sound like massively out of touch, but you can go on holiday without money. You don't have to go abroad. You don't have to go on a plane. I'll make the assumption that assuming your company has given you paid time off, which I know isn't like some necessarily a thing in America, but it is a thing in the civilized world. Sorry, Americans, I love you. But it's like companies give you 28 paid days off a year? Is that there's like a minimum, or is it 21 or something? I don't know. But they give you a paid time off. And even if you don't have money to go abroad, you can go camping, you can go stay with your mates. I don't know. There's basically free options. People are going to be like, Simon, you're out of touch. I'm not quite sure on this one.
Am I so out of touch?
Once again, the website can help. Sell your stuff on eBay or Craigslist to overcome holiday debt. If your employer... Jesus Christ, McDonald's. If you're the employer and your staff are so poor that you're having to suggest that they sell their shit, maybe you should be paying them more. I mean, come on now. I did call McDonald's to find out what they'd recommend if you'd already sold all your stuff to pay rent or utility bills, but nobody got back to me. But what about when you've worked a double shift during which 50 different people have shouted at you because it's impossible to drink a milkshake through the new paper straws? Drives me f***ing mad. Drives me mad. Paper straws are a curse against humanity. And I know that the plastic straws are like a curse against dolphins or whatever, but you know what group I'm in? It's not f***ing dolphins. I just want a straw that's made out of plastic. Thick plastic that I'm then gonna specifically throw in the ocean right into a dolphin's f***ing mouth. And I put one in their blowhole as well, once I've tied it shut in a knot, because f*** dolphins. Also, why, when I get the milkshake, it comes in the paper cup, right? Then there's milkshake in the paper cup, comes with a paper straw. The thing on top that you don't need to be made out of plastic is made out of plastic. How about you make that out of paper and then give me a plastic straw, you suckers.
Daddy, chill.
Sorry, I'm upset about this. Paper straws are a f***ing bane.
Boo on you, sir!
That's Spain.
And they have an answer for that too. Sing to reduce job stress. Although this is all fantastic advice, I think my favorite comes from the section about saving money and eating less. If you can't afford to buy enough food to prevent yourself from feeling constantly hungry, bear this in mind. This is f***ing savage, McDonald's. I can't believe you'd actually write this shit. Breaking food into pieces often results in eating less and still feeling full. This is insane. This is insane. I can't believe Dave hasn't accidentally stumbled upon like McDonald's.net or something, which is like a fake McDonald's corporate site, because this is so tone deaf. It's insane. I do have another suggestion. Given that in 2022, McDonald's made more than $4 billion in profit, they could always consider, paying their staff a decent wage. That'd be nice! Allegedly, in my opinion. Mechanically separated chicken. Although the video that did the rounds on the internet in 2012, which showed that the pink goop that was allegedly used to make McDonald's chicken nuggets turned out to be a hoax, McDonald's did in fact use similar stuff in their chicken nuggets until 2003. For those of you who are not familiar with the gastronomic delight that is mechanically separated meat, here is a brief description from food.gov.uk. Mechanically separated meat, or MSM, means the product obtained by removing meat from flesh-bearing bones after boning, or from poultry carcasses using mechanical means, resulting in the loss or modification of the muscle fiber structure. So basically it means like you've got a chicken carcass and you use a pressure washer, and then you strain all that water, and then what you've got left is MSM. Delicious. But what does this mean in practice? Basically, when a skilled butcher has removed all the recognizable meat from an animal carcass, the remainder is blasted off with high-pressure water jets, compressed into paste, and then used to make things like chicken nuggets and hot dogs. Again, delicious. While this process has become almost universally disdained over the last 20 years, there is little evidence to suggest that such meat is in any way bad for you, or at the very least any more bad for you than other low-quality deep-fried products. Although this practice cannot really be deemed evil, it does smack of extreme quantity over quality measures. However, as I said before, what do you expect? You are not, after all, going to McDonald's for luxury dining. For the record, I think the nuggets were much tastier before they started using actual chicken breast. Now that is where I disagree with you. I always found the fake, weird, mushy chicken McNuggets weird. And since they actually use pieces of chicken that I can recognize, I much prefer it, and I will occasionally order them. Mostly I'll just steal them from my children, because I'll order a Big Mac like a normal human being, and then my children will get chicken nuggets, and I'll steal them, because they won't finish them all, and it's the dad tax.
You called me a monster.
You are a monster.
I also noticed a similar decrease in quality at my favorite burger vans after the horse meat scandal broke. Questionable child marketing campaigns. Did I tell you my story about eating horse? I went to Morocco a few years ago, just for holiday. And obviously, I wasn't going to Morocco for... Or you went to Morocco for business. What? I was on holiday in Morocco, long story short. And my wife and I were like doing some shopping, like to take back to the Airbnb and like cook some breakfast or whatever. We bought some sausages for breakfast. I mean, these sausages are really good, really delicious sausages. And they speak French in Morocco. And I'm like reading the packet one morning, just like, like while we mostly finished the sausage, it says like chevaux on there. And I'm like, wait a second. Doesn't chevaux mean horse? So we've been eating horse and saying how delicious it was. And we totally finished the pack of sausages because it turns out horse is delicious.
No, sir, I don't like it.
I guess that this next entry carries... Chevaux does mean horse, right? Right? Hey Siri, how do you say horse in French? Chevaux. That's right.
Oh, wow, that is very interesting. Please tell me more.
I personally believe that, as a parent, it is down to you to ensure that your child has a reasonably healthy diet, and failure on this part lies with you rather than, say, a fast food chain. Unfortunately, if the internet is anything to go by, I'm in the minority here. You do not have to look very far online to find hordes of people who are more than happy to blame McDonald's for their child's obesity. So, are any of these claims valid? Well, if you believe Antonia Bramante, a Canadian who tried to sue McDonald's in 2018, well, yes. According to the lawsuit that he filed, he has 3 young children who force him to visit McDonald's at least once every couple of weeks. That's fine. Like, I try to eat fast food once per week at a maximum. I once gave up eating fast food entirely for 6 months, and I felt no difference, so I went back to eating fast food on a limited basis.
Are you going to finish that croissant?
Knock yourself out.
According to an article released at the time, he is seeking compensation from the chain for purchases made over the past 5 years and wants to stop the company from promoting toys and Happy Meals to children in store. Or, how about this? Brainwave, whatever the your name was, be a responsible parent. If you don't want your kids going to McDonald's, don't take them to McDonald's. It's your responsibility. I'm sorry. You can say no. Like this. My kid. Dad, can we have McDonald's?
No.
Why? Because I said so. Boom! Done. It's called being a f***ing adult. He went on to claim that such advertising is in breach of Canadian law, which bans certain types of advertising to children under the age of 13. Furthermore, the habit that McDonald's has of releasing toys in line with popular movie franchises, etc., means that he has no choice but to continually return to the store or risk upsetting his children because they cannot obtain the full set. Again, being an adult, I upset my children all the time. All the time. They'll be like, Dad, can I have another pickle? I'll be like, no, because you shit yourself last time you had that many pickles. I'll be, Dad, I really like pickles. And I'll be like, yeah, I know, but you shit yourself, don't you remember? No, Dad, I just want a pickle. Well, I'm sorry, you can't. And then they'll cry, and I'm like, that's life. Upsetting your children is part of being a parent. I'm sorry, but if you always give in to them, you're going to be cleaning up their shit all the time because pickles make them shit, apparently.
I'm the cool dad. That's my thing.
While I could not find the result of this court case, it does have some precedent. In the UK during the 1980s and early 90s, McDonald's attempted to sue Greenpeace activists because they created a leaflet titled, "What's Wrong with McDonald's? Everything They Don't Want You to Know." I feel like this video is titled way too close to that leaflet, isn't it? But obviously this is, we're just reporting on what other people have said and I'm sharing my own opinions. That's all that's going on here, my opinions and what other people have reported. None of this is objective facts from the team here at Brainblaze.
In a stunning turn of events, a superhero is being sued.
While the judge dismissed many of the claims in the leaflet, he did uphold those which stated that the McDonald's Corporation was using exploitative marketing tactics against children. So in this case, I shall leave it to you. Is McDonald's marketing campaign exploiting children and weak parents? Exploiting children is very different from weak parents. If you're a weak parent, it's your fault. If you're exploiting children, it's the corporation's fault, isn't it? Simple. You're an adult. You have your own autonomy and responsibility. Get your shit together. Or are they simply fulfilling the purpose of any company, and that's to make money? The children's play areas are genuinely disgusting. Oh, don't say that, Dave. I love those children's play areas. I swear that. Nowadays, I've mentioned this before, when I go to a restaurant, when I choose a restaurant to go to, I know my kids are going to come along with us, it's always, the number one concern is not, is it nice? Is the food good? It's, do they have a children's corner? Are they going to bring crayons to the table for my child to play with? And then that's how I decide whether I go to that restaurant. And I go to specific McDonald's with play areas because I want my children to play while I have a moment of peace and quiet, because my life is not moments of peace and quiet.
I just want to sleep, oh yeah. And eat some snacks.
I feel that I've spent a large amount of time this video actively defending McDonald's, and unfortunately I'm going to do so again. Kind of. Although the title of this entry is undoubtedly true, and you shall see just how true in a moment, it is not quite as bad as the internet would have you believe. For example, some years ago, a story circulated online which claimed that a 3-year-old child was accidentally injected with a syringe filled with heroin while playing in the ball pit of a McDonald's restaurant. This allegedly resulted in the child's death. Not only did the child not die, they never existed. However, this is not to say that concerns about the restaurant's play areas are completely unfounded. In 2011, a professor at Arizona State University carried out swab testing at a number of McDonald's play areas, and the results were, shall we say, less than ideal. According to the lab results, many of them contained dangerous levels of Bacillus cereus, fecal coliforms, enterobacteria, multiple strains of Staphylococcus, and Cetobacteria awoffi, whatever that is, and another unpronounceable sort of disease.
I've assembled all 5 special cards, all 5 pieces of the puzzle. Exodia! Obliterate!
Although some of these are so dangerous I've never even heard of them, I do recognize some of them, and they definitely can be detrimental to the health of your child. Yeah, but this is kind of how it is with children and the play areas. Like, I don't know, we go to soft play pretty often, and it's like this big thing, and all the kids like running around, and there's the ball pit. And I'll sit in the ball pit, and my kids and I will throw balls at each other and throw like balls at different things. And I'm like, these balls have never been cleaned, and kids have definitely taken in here and pissed themselves, and it's like, it's just like, it's disgusting. And you're just like, hey, and I'm like someone, before having kids, I don't like touching door handles. I'm that guy. And I'm just like, yeah, f*** it. If I get death, I get death, don't I? It. At this point, you might be thinking, surely every child's play area is like that. No matter how on-the-ball staff members are, you're not going to be able to stop children sneaking food into the play area or doing anything about lapses in continence. While these points are valid, testimony from various staff members indicates that McDonald's was in fact doing nothing at all to ensure the safety of the children who played there. Allegedly, although there were stringent guidelines in place as to just how often the actual restaurant was cleaned, no such guidelines allegedly were in place for the play areas, and as a result of this, they'd often go completely uncleaned for long periods periods of time. I cannot speak for the rest of the world, but in the UK at least, McDonald's appear to have decided to deal with this problem almost by entirely eradicating play areas altogether. I suppose that's easier than cleaning. Yeah, I don't like that though. Don't do that, McDonald's. They have them here. I live in Prague, and I like it. Never take them away. It's okay. We can have all the bacteria. We're getting used to it. We're building up our strength, and our children are hardly dying at all. The infamous hot coffee incident. I'm fully aware that this topic has been very well covered. I myself have mentioned it in my script about ridiculous lawsuits. I swear I've done like 17 videos about this. However, it's worth mentioning just again how badly the corporation treated the lady involved. For those of you who are somehow unaware of the story, let's have a brief recap. How could you be unaware of this? I feel like if you watch my videos for a month, you've heard me talk about this. In 1994, it's like the f***ing Pepsi Jet thing. Like some topics I just seem to cover like 900 times, for whatever reason. There's that meme going around at the moment about like how often do you think about the Roman Empire? And I'm just thinking way too much. Way too much, because I make so many videos about it, I just don't care anymore. I don't care about the Roman Empire. In 1994, a 79-year-old woman named Stella Lieberg was driven to a branch of McDonald's by her grandson. After ordering a coffee from the drive-thru, she held it between her legs and accidentally spilled it. This is the part of the story that everybody knows, and in fact, the only part of the story that McDonald's widely publicized. As a result, millions of people believe that this woman successfully sued McDonald's for a huge amount of money because she did not understand that hot coffee is hot. In actual fact, she fully admitted that the spill was her own fault, only taking issue with the fact that the coffee was so hot that it resulted in third-degree burns to her legs and genitals, requiring emergency surgery. Moreover, she was not even interested in filing a lawsuit at all. All she wanted from the McDonald's Corporation was for them to cover the medical bills. The cost of those medical bills was somewhere in the region of $20,000, and even though it would later transpire that McDonald's was fully aware that the coffee was being served dangerously hot, they only offered her $800. Not having a spare $19,200, she was forced to take legal action. Unfortunately, and I am by no means saying that this is what McDonald's did, but it is possible, who knows? It has long since been a recognized practice of large corporations who are aware of an ongoing problem to just take the hit if they're sued by an individual rather than instigate a company-wide changes. The jury eventually decided that the corporation should pay out $2.9 million. Rather than go through the appeals process, Lieberg would agree to an out-of-court settlement believed to be somewhere in the region of $500,000. Now, this is a fair chunk of change, but the fact that McDonald's went out of the way to mislead the public about the reasons behind this case makes it one of the worst things in the corporation's history. And that brings us to the end of today's video. You may be interested to know that given the script was written over 2 days and the constant writing of the word McDonald's made me very hungry, the creative process was fueled by 20 mozzarella dippers, 1 large big tasty meal, and 3 triple cheeseburgers. God damn, over 2 days, Dave? You sure? You sure it's a good idea? Dave, killed by heart attack because of McDonald's. Dave sues McDonald's. Simon ends the video. Thanks for being here. It's just a house full of fries.
Fuck yeah!
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Decoding the Unknown. As always, I'm your host Simon. Welcome. Written today by Katie. The mystery of the Tunguska event, exploring the 1908 explosion in Siberia. I didn't realize, I know there was a bit of a historical mystery around this, but didn't they work it out? Is that a comet or an asteroid? It came towards the Earth and then boom, blew up a little bit before it around and knocked down a bunch of trees. But there was no crater and stuff, but I think that's because they figured it out eventually. It just exploded above the trees. I think. I'm not entirely sure. I've almost certainly made a video on this before, and everyone's going to be like, Simon, don't you remember making this video? I'm going to be like, no, it's like 4 years ago. I don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday. Jesus. Anyway, the format of the show, I've never read it before. Katie's written it for me. My job is just to read it. That's all I do. It's the best job in the world. Let's go. There's nothing like a giant explosion to set imaginations alight, especially if there are few witnesses, no investigation for over a decade, and not much in the way of physical evidence to work out what happened. Today we're investigating the 1908 Tunguska event, a huge explosion that affected the planet from the Siberian wastelands to the English coast. Oh my god, wait, that's really far. Was it? I know it was a big explosion, but I didn't realize it was that big. Well, we think we've pretty much got a handle on what happened these days. There's always room for alternative theories, and when something like this happens, some of those theories are going to be good. And by good, we don't mean particularly well thought out or credible, we just mean straight up weird. Yeah, honestly, this show, like I do several YouTube channels if you're not familiar with my other body of work, and they're very much like this is what happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. And I hope it's entertaining, and I hope it's educational. But generally, it's good when we have information. In this show, it's good when we have something entertaining that is just wild ass crazy, and I love it.
I love it.
What was the Tunguska event? Imagine that you're a reindeer in early 20th century Russia. I do every day, Katie. You're hanging out by the Podkamen...
Blah, blah, blah.
That's a very long word in Russian that I can't read. It's a river. And you've got your pals Yuri, Lev, and Alina. It's the 30th of June, 1908, or if you're still using the Julian calendar, as Russian was at the time, it's the 17th of June, 1908. Didn't they miss the Olympics because of this one year? They were like using the wrong calendar, or like their calendar, and the Olympics was on the other calendar. And they went off. Let me interrupt today's video to tell you about our fantastic sponsor, and that would be one that's going to bring a little bit of excitement to your life, and that's Bespoke Post. You see, Bespoke Post is like that friend who always brings the coolest stuff to the party. It's a monthly membership club that delivers a box of awesome, which is packed with top-shelf goodies from under-the-radar brands, and guess what? Totally free to join. You can skip a month or cancel anytime. And what makes Bespoke Post even better is that a whopping 90% of the products come from small brands, many of which are based in the US. Every month, they introduce you to some seriously cool products, think outdoor gear, barware, home and kitchen goodies, and even stylish clothing, all based on a preference quiz that you fill out. It's like having that friend who's very good at choosing birthday gifts send you something every month. That's nice. And here's the kicker. Every box of awesome is jam-packed with around $70 worth of goodies, but it's yours for only a fraction of that price. But before your box ships, you get to see what's inside, and you can decide whether you want to keep it, swap it for a different box, or skip the month entirely for no charge. You only pay for what you want. You're not locked in. For example, there's the Weekender box. This is perfect for spontaneous getaways. It comes with a sleek duffel bag that's made with durable cotton canvas and leather handles, as well as metal hardware. It's even got a space for your laptop. Or you can choose the Salud box. It's an authentic margarita kit from Mexico, including hand-blown glasses, a juicer, margarita agave, spicy chili salt, and Mexican dish towel. All you have to add is tequila and citrus, and you're good to go. So here's the scoop. To get a fabulous 20% off your first box of awesome, click the link in the description below and enter the promo code unknown20 at checkout, or just visit bespokepost.com/unknown20. And now back to today's video. If you were a reindeer, I suppose you didn't really care one way or the other. The day is clear and calm. You're just moseying about eating whatever reindeer eat, when suddenly your attention is caught by a cylindrical object shooting across the sky. Odd, you think. You nudge Alina. But she's not that interested. And Yuri and Lev are too far away, so you just continue munching. The pipe-shaped object gets brighter and brighter. Sounds like there are two suns, and then the sky fills with smoke. Banging noises like boulders tumbling, or those things humans shoot at each other, fill the air. The earth shakes like you've never known, and everywhere around you trees are crashing over. If you ever look up in the sky, if you're just hanging out outside one day, and it appears that there are two suns in the sky, There's the reason there are two suns in the sky is never good. It's never like, oh yeah, no, it's just extra bright today. Yuri and Lev are flattened by the falling trees. No, Yuri! Alina is burned to a crisp, and all you see is blackness as your life swiftly comes to an end. See, I told you, it's never a good thing. Sorry, reindeer, you've just become a victim of the Tunguska event. I did originally make your outcome a happy ending, but I felt this was more realistic, as lots of reindeer did indeed perish. Oh no, not the reindeer. Let us get into more detail. As we said, it was a clear day in the area of Siberia that is located in what is currently known as the Krasnoyarsk Krai, but back in 1908, it was part of the Yeniseisk Governorate. This incident is known as the Tunguska event, as it took place by the Podkamenaya, that river again, Tunguska River. We may just refer to the area as Tunguska as we go along, and I'm sure you'll know what we mean. It also means I don't have to pronounce the first part, which is nice. While the area was and remains very sparsely populated, there were some people who witnessed the event, and articles were published shortly afterward in various Russian newspapers. The accounts are all quite similar, with people variously describing the start as an intense light in the sky. Our native Evenki tribesman reported, quote, "The morning was sunny, there were no clouds. Our sun was shining brightly as usual, and suddenly there came a second one." Wait, this guy survived? He saw a second sun in the sky, and he's like, "I live to tell the tale." While the Sibir newspaper wrote of some strangely bright, impossible to look at, bluish-white heavenly body. This bright light moved downwards towards the Earth, and as it did, it turned into a giant billow of black smoke, according to S.i.R. After that came a pillar of fire and an explosion so intense that it knocked down trees across an area of 2,150 square kilometers, which is 830 square miles, which is absolutely massive, which is 1 1/3 times the size of London, or 2.5 times the size of New York City. It flattened trees. That is massive. With this explosion came shockwaves that registered at seismic stations across the globe, and noise that was described by witnesses as if rocks were falling or cannons were firing. A loud thunderclap, as if large stones were falling or artillery was fired. These were all separate quotes, and it sounds like stones falling down was the big one. And I mean, I guess it is a kind of stone falling down, isn't it? A stone falling down from the heavens. This was accompanied by intense heat, hot winds, and ground tremors. The explosion had happened in a remote area, but buildings still have shattered windows and other minor damage. The closest were at least 65 kilometers or 40 miles from the epicenter, but even those hundreds of kilometers away felt the effects. Anecdotally, it's been said that up to 3 people might have been killed during the events, but officially the confirmed death toll is a remarkable 0. That's not counting the reindeer, obviously. An estimated 80 million trees were felled. Holy all falling outwards from the blast center. In the middle of the blast zone stood a few remaining trees, upright, branchless, and burned black. According to Britannica.com, quote, the energy of the explosion is estimated to have been equivalent to the explosive force as much as 15 megatons of TNT, 1,000 times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima, Japan on August the 6th, 1945. 1,000 times Hiroshima. And you've seen those photos of Hiroshima afterwards. It was not pretty. The explosion had been visible from over 800 kilometers, that's 500 miles away, and for a day afterward, the night skies over Europe remained strangely bright, with people taking photographs at night without the need for a flash, and reports of others in London able to read at midnight with no other light source. Wait, why? Why would there be so much light afterwards?
Tell me.
There was no one there to record the sound of the explosion, but it has been estimated that it could have reached over 300 decibels, making it one of the loudest sounds in history. I recently, or not so recently, but heard this amazing thing that, so the sun, right? We can't hear the sun because obviously sound doesn't travel through a vacuum, and there's a really big vacuum between us and the sun. But apparently, if we could hear the sun, it's so loud that if there wasn't a vacuum and we're still super far away from the sun, the entire Earth, it would sound like a train is going past. Like, everywhere you are would just be like a train going past, like all the time, because that's how loud the sun is. Imagine being closer to the sun and there not being a vacuum. You're like, it's so loud. What is now known as the Tunguska event, or Tunguska incident, was the largest impact event on our planet at the time in recorded history. However, can it be called an impact event if no crater has ever been found? Why wasn't there any sort of scientific expedition to the area until 1921, and even then not to the actual site of the explosion until 1927? Well, I don't know. People really busy. And it's in the middle of nowhere. As we said at the beginning, the event does have a rational explanation, if some of the finer details are still being quibbled over, but let's explore some of the other theories that people have thought up over the years. Ah, yes, the good stuff. And by good, I mean laughable. Let's have a laugh. It was a UFO. Oh, it wasn't though, was it? Well, it was a UFO to begin with. An unidentified flying object. Yeah, fair play. An unidentified flying object streaked across the sky before exploding into a Siberian forest. As there wasn't anyone who was particularly close when it happened, and no investigation was carried out for years, it could not initially be confirmed what the object was, but we're talking about alien spacecraft here, not just being pedantic about what UFO stands for. While the original witnesses didn't make any mention of potential alien activity, the mysterious nature of some of the details of the event, plus Russia's well-renowned love of obfuscation, which is a tricky word to say, ended up spawning more than one theory about extraterrestrial visitors, and some even saying that it was Russia's equivalent to Roswell. Holy shit, it was a bit of a bigger Roswell was a military plane crashing, and then they were like, so where's the balloon? But it was a military plane crashing. This was 300 decibels and flattened trees in an area bigger than the entirety of London. London's really big and sprawling. One theory that's easy to disprove is that of a Martian spaceship coming to Earth for repairs, but instead blowing up. The spacecraft was powered by some sort of nuclear device, thus resulting in the gigantic explosion. Sure, cool, but where are the parts of the ship? Well, would you believe it that in 2004, Russian media was alight with claims that extraterrestrial spaceship fragments had indeed been found at the site of the Tunguska event? Let me guess, that turned out to be false. What's that? We think it's part of an alien. No, it's part of a tractor, mate. It's just part of a tractor. Clearly. Look, it's made out of iron. It's all rusty and Think the aliens had some rusty spacecraft? Come on. Yuri Lavbin, a member of the Tunguska Space Phenomenon Foundation, had headed an expedition to the Tunguska region and had found a metallic block that was widely reported as being from an extraterrestrial spaceship. So was it? It's not clear. As while Lavbin had it sent off for testing, he didn't bother to wait for any results before making all of his statements to the press, so it hardly matters what the block was made of now that he's already had his moment in the sun. Also, he found this block some way outside the normal agreed perimeter of the blast, as he decided the object was headed in a different direction to where all the original eyewitnesses said it was going. He also decided to conclude that this proved that an alien spaceship had actually saved the planet from an incoming meteorite by blasting said meteorite to pieces, and the bit he found was part of that device. Bro, that is some wild-ass speculation. It's like just making it up. It's literally just making it up. So what could this object have been? Well, it's possible that it was space-related, but unfortunately originating very much from this planet. Russia has had a very vigorous space program, and in 1960 a test flight of a Vostok 5 came down right near the Tunguska event area. Debris from that capsule is likely what Lavbin found. So it's a hell of a lot more interesting than some random tractor part, isn't it? If he didn't plant anything himself, that is, and control panels and the general configuration of parts would not be familiar or easily recognizable by non-astronauts or space engineers. Also, Lavbin had started his quest with the express intention of finding evidence of aliens. He said, quote, "We intend to find proof that not a meteorite, but an extraterrestrial spaceship crashed with the Earth." And so, voila, mission accomplished, I guess. Yeah, that's what you have. Just come up with a hypothesis. Don't be like, I'm going to look for an alien spacecraft that I know is there, because then you're just going to find evidence of it, even if it's not really evidence. If you go in, I'm curious. I'd like to find out more. Much better attitude to have. It's sort of how I enter these things. Like, as much as I make fun of it, I genuinely would like to find something where I'm like, I can't explain that. There's absolutely no rational thing that explains that. I'd like to find that. I do have, despite my making fun, I like to think quite a malleable mind. Like, I will be open to having my opinion changed. I just need a weight of evidence, and obviously this is not it! There have been many other believers in the alien aspect of the Tunguska event, with the nuclear engine of a spacecraft especially being a rich breeding ground for this theory. Because of the magnitude of the blast and the blast pattern of the trees, some sort of nuclear explosion has regularly been touted. 1908 was a wee bit early for humans to have been experimenting with nuclear bombs, but maybe the Martians already had it down. Scientist Alexei Zolotov was convinced this was the source of the explosion and visited the site to carry out tests. Is an actual scientist doing this? He's like, yeah, it was aliens. Okay. While officially no significant radioactivity has been found at the event area, ruling out any kind of early or extraterrestrial nuclear shenanigans, Zolotov has claimed he found elevated levels, although no proof has ever been given. Bro, you're a scientist. You gotta provide proof. You know that. That's how science works. Another link that Zolotov has to the event, however, is a man called Alexander Kazantsev. The two were friends, and Kazantsev was a well-known science fiction writer. Uh-oh, that's different from being a scientist. After seeing the destruction of the atomic bomb at Hiroshima and Nagasaki and noting the similarities to the area around the Tunguska event, Kazantsev penned a fictional story about the Martian in the spacecraft looking to land, but ultimately bowing out. So that's where the whole story came from in the first place. What's more difficult to work out is if Kazantsev wrote this in earnest or not. I've seen variously that it was all clearly supposed to be read as fiction, and also that this was his actual real-life theory for what happened at Tunguska. He was a ufologist and very interested in all things Martian, so it seemed that fact and fiction just started blurring. Many people who believe the Martian theory may have read or been influenced by the stories Kazantsev wrote and not realize they were supposed to be fiction. Or maybe they weren't supposed to be fiction. As I said, it's hard to tell. What we can tell, however, is that no nuclear activity has been found at the site, and no traces of extraterrestrial spaceships have ever been found, unless it was all picked up and taken away, of course. As previously mentioned, no real investigations were carried out until many years later, plenty of time to cover up traces of ET. Let's face it, whenever there's something spotted in the sky and unsatisfactory investigations are carried out deep in the wilderness, talk of aliens is always going to pop up. If you thought that was far-fetched, however, get a load of this. Oh, okay, here we go. More far-fetched than aliens. What is it? It was Jesus. Jesus came down to Earth, and then he decided we weren't ready for him. Oh my god, if that's actually a theory, I'm going to cry. It was Nikola Tesla's death ray. I don't think that's more absurd than aliens. Because Nikola Tesla at least is real. Bear with us here. In some circles, what happened in the Tunguska area was actually Tesla trying to demonstrate his awe-inspiring remote death ray by gate-crashing someone's polar expedition, but overshooting somewhat and instead destroying 80 million trees. Bit of an oopsie there. Is this even within the realm of possibility? Probably not, but let's address it anyway for a few minutes. In the early years of the 20th century, Nikola Tesla was all about wireless energy and the wireless transmission of power. He built a large transmission tower on an area of land in Long Island and called it Wardenclyffe. From here, he thought that as well as sending radio signals, he could also transmit power wirelessly to anywhere on the globe. Unfortunately, at this time, Tesla was being shoved out by financial backers in favor of other investors, such as Marconi, and a financial panic in the early 1900s left him pretty much penniless. There's just no way the amount of energy that you would require to do that. Like we said, it's 1,000 times more powerful than a nuclear bomb. That just was not happening at this point. In 1907, Tesla had made public comments about the destructive power of electrical waves, telling the New York Times, quote, "As to projecting wave energy to any particular region of the globe, this can be done with my devices." He went on to confirm that it could be focused very accurately, providing you had the correct measurements. In 1908, just before the Tunguska event, he wrote to the editor of the New York Times again, stating, quote, "When I spoke of future warfare, I meant that it should be conducted by direct application of electrical waves without the use of aerial engines or other implements of destruction. This is not a dream. Even now, wireless power plants could be constructed by which any region of the globe might be rendered uninhabitable without subjecting the population of other parts to serious danger or inconvenience." End quote. So, was Tesla saying that he had a remote weapon up and ready to go from Wardenclyffe Tower? When the Tunguska event occurred mere months later, there was no impact crater, no detailed eyewitness accounts of what had happened, and the devastation hit with a force of around 15 megatons of TNT, which was within the wheelhouse of what Tesla said his transmitter could produce. Okay, so they were just at that time massively underestimating the amount of power that was released in that explosion. Because didn't we say it was like many, many thousands? So why there and why then? Tunguska death ray theorists postulate that Tesla was doing secret tests with his wireless weapon and wanted to make a big statement to prove to everyone his idea was viable. Well, okay, in that case, it wouldn't be much of a mystery, because Tesla would come out afterwards and be like, bro, you heard about that, like, asteroid or whatever that blew all those trees down, 80 million trees? He'll be like, that was no asteroid. I did that. I'm from Long Island. And everyone will be like, God damn, bro.
Wow! Wow!
Okay, and that's what we'd remember Tesla for, instead of his electric cars. Around the same time as the two, that was a joke. That's a joke. It's like, son, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's just a joke.
I'm joking. That's just a joke. We like to have fun here.
Around the same time as the Tunguska event, Admiral Robert Peary was trying to be the first person to reach the geographic North Pole. Tesla apparently wanted to focus his ray in the Arctic to create an event that Peary would immediately report back on. Then I guess Tesla would step out of the shadows and say, that event at the North Pole that Peary witnessed, ladies and gentlemen, that was me. I am Iron Man. I'm not sure what kind of display he was envisioning. Did he want to etch "Tesla was here" in the ice? He could have easily killed Peary and his team, and the whole idea seems a bit of an odd way to demonstrate your new toy. Anyway, the idea goes that Tesla had miscalculated the coordinates to aim his death ray and ended up blasting hundreds of square miles of the Siberian forest instead. So, why has this given any credence at all? I don't know. I don't know, Katie. Please tell me. In yet another letter to his BFF, the editor of the New York Times, several years later, Tesla said that he had already made a transmitter powerful enough to wreak havoc wherever we want it. In the 1915 letter he wrote, "It is perfectly practical to transmit electrical energy without wires and produce destructive effects at a distance. I've already constructed a wireless transmitter which will make this possible. When unavoidable, it may be used to destroy property and life." In a letter to a previous investor, J.P. Morgan in 1934, Tesla seemed again to hint that he had created some sort of transmissible weapon to, quote, "The flying machine has completely demoralized the world, so much so that in some cities, as in London and Paris, people are in mortal fear from aerial bombing. The new means I have perfected afford absolute protection against this and other forms of attack. These new discoveries I have carried out experimentally on a limited scale create a profound impression." So, what do we think? Did Nikola Tesla, as a last-ditch effort to recoup interest and money from his investors and save his reputation, try to pull off a spectacular demonstration of a remote death ray, or teleforce weapon as he preferred to call it, but went a bit awry? Personally, I'm in the no camp here. Yes, Katie, you know who's also in the no camp here? Me. Because this was well over 100 years ago, or over 100 years ago, 1934, under 100 years ago. And you know what we haven't done since then? Done this same thing. And it's been nearly 100 years, so come on. It's not real. Tesla never expressly mentioned or claimed credit for the Tunguska event, maybe because he was embarrassed that he missed his target, or more likely, because he had nothing to do with it at all. There is nothing in the way of solid evidence to connect him to the event in any way. It's mostly just coincidental wording that people have picked up on. There's also no real evidence that he had a working teleforce weapon in the first place, so the whole thing is just one big ball of rumor. There is little room for doubt when it comes to what really caused the Tunguska event, which unfortunately closes the door on Tesla's death ray. Sorry about that. It was a black hole. Okay, now that we got the silly stuff out of the way, we can hone in on the more realistic theories. I mean, yeah, okay, such as a black hole falling into the planet. Initially, I didn't realize the black hole could fall anywhere, so this was news to me. In 1973, physicists Michael P. Ryan and Albert A. Jackson touted the theory that a small black hole had hit Tunguska River area and passed straight through the planet. This would explain the lack of crater, as the hole would be tiny. The appearance of this falling black hole would allegedly match eyewitnesses' descriptions, and the event would cause trees to fall as they did. This is like, that'd be so cool if it was true, but I don't think it's true. When I said small black hole earlier, this is just in terms of the size of the thing. Yeah, it would be absolutely microscopic, but it would weigh like as much as a city or something. The mass of it would be enormous. But wait, what happened to this mini black hole? Is it just sitting in the center of the Earth, biding its time? No, it would just pass straight through it and just whip out the other side. I'm assuming through some ocean, which is why there's not some big crater on the other side or like big exit wound. No, of course not. If we believe this theory, then the black hole would have passed straight through the planet and popped out the other side in the Atlantic somewhere. Well, wouldn't this have caused another Tunguska-sized shockwave to register? And yes, it would, which is why we can discount the black hole theory. The only seismic activity recorded in England, say, corresponded with the amount of time the shockwaves took to travel from impact point in Siberia. If the black hole had blasted out again, the seismic activity that it would create would have been a lot closer to England and would have been recorded before the Tunguska activity reached it. This didn't happen, ergo there was no second exit blast, ergo no black hole, so moving on. It's a shame. It would have been cool. It was a near-miss asteroid. Okay, now we're really done with the silly ones. In this penultimate theory, an asteroid the size of a football stadium basically just glanced off the Earth's upper atmosphere before heading back out into the solar system. In 2020, Daniil Khrennikov and colleagues at the Siberian Federal University in Russia created a model showing various different bodies moving through space. They concluded that a huge iron meteorite could have produced the craterless impact point, left glowing dust in the upper atmosphere, and would not have left visible debris. The team estimated that the asteroid would have been about 200 meters across, which is about half the height of the Empire State Building. Had it hit the ground, the crater would have been about 2 miles, or just over 3 kilometers wide. Oh my god, space is scary. The article I read on astronomy.com said, maybe playing it down a bit, it would have had catastrophic effects on the biosphere, perhaps ending modern civilization. Playing it down, what would it have done? It would have killed us all, absolutely everything. There'd be no life left. A lucky escape for us then. This is a credible theory, although scientists usually go for the next one, which is, it was a comet explosion or asteroid explosion. Alright, here's the actual theory upon which most scientists agree these days, although the details are not 100% solid. A comet or part of a comet or asteroid or part of a larger asteroid headed for Earth exploded in the atmosphere rather than hitting the ground. This is also known as a meteor airburst or superbolide. This accounts for witness sightings of the cylinder or tube moving through the sky, the bright light and the subsequent dark smoke and fire. Newspaper reports at the time even referred to it as a meteorite and unusual natural occurrence, so there was no real mystery even back then. As the body didn't hit the ground, it left no impact crater, but the force of the explosion was still massively strong, leaving those poor reindeer and trees with no chance. While the comet theory was all the rage for a while, as the glowing skies it left behind could have been the residue of the comet's tail, it's since been decided that as a comet is made up of ice, it likely would not have lasted long enough in Earth's atmosphere to travel as far as it did. Our best guess at the moment is that it was a rocky or stony asteroid. I've seen size estimates from 37 to 60 meters wide and speed estimates from 54,000 kilometers per hour to 97,000. But either way, this asteroid met with atmospheric friction, heat, and pressure and annihilated itself between 5 and 10 kilometers above the Earth's surface. This is the right one, right? This is the one that I feel like I definitely am familiar with. Not the black holes, even though that was super cool. Definitely not the aliens, and definitely not... What was the other one? I don't even remember, but it was silly. We already know that there was no impact crater, but surely there would be some sign of this asteroid. And, well, there is. There are tiny and microscopic spheres all over the area, in the soil and embedded in trees that have a chemical makeup not seen on Earth. They are of high nickel, low iron content, consistent with meteorites. While the comet versus asteroid debate goes back and forth, we can safely assume that it was a celestial body or even a smaller part of a larger body that came into contact with our atmosphere and exploded before it hit the ground. Now, before we wrap up, let's tie up a few loose ends. We mentioned a few times that there was no scientific expedition out to the Tunguska site until many years after the incident. This wasn't really for any conspiracy reasons, like the Russians hiding all those traces of a UFO before letting the public loose on the area. It was for a combination of reasons, including the remoteness of the area and the fact that in the immediate aftermath of the impact, nothing else really happened. Anyone venturing to the site would not have had access to any scientific tools that would have been able to give them much useful information, and Russia was going through a lot at the time, coming off the back of a revolution and a whole lot of political upheaval. Yeah, like I said, it's really far away and they're really busy.
So just like busy.
Apparently the native Evenki people were also not keen on having visitors to their lands as they saw the area as sacred. They wouldn't let anyone go near the site even if they'd tried. With World War I starting a few years later, there wasn't any interest in funding a trip to see what happened until 1921. Meteorologist Leonid Kulik took a team to the Podkamenya Tunguska River Basin to see if any meteoric iron could be found, but the weather conditions were so hostile that they didn't even make it to the blast area. Jesus, you went a long way. It wasn't until 1927 that he made it back. 6 years later! What?
What do you mean?
With the help of Evenki people, who I guess had thought on the issue by this point, Kulik assumed that a meteor had again hit the region, so he found a lack of crater surprising, but he took loads of samples and photos and several other visits that he made over the years. Now, there have been many research trips and studies done about the Tunguska event, most reaching the same conclusions, apart from Yuri Lavbin and his recent UFO finding mission. Some people have queried the state the trees were left in after the blast. Trees at the center of the explosion were scorched and had branches stripped off, but hadn't burned down and were still standing upright, while trees all around had fallen down. If there had been fire, as reported by eyewitnesses at the time, why hadn't the whole forest been burned down, or at least the trees directly underneath the fire been burned to ash? How could they still be standing? This is due to the fact that the explosion happened high above and was not caused by a physical object hitting the ground. Witnesses of the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima have reported a similar thing happened with trees. Branches were blown off, but the main trunk was left standing. As for the fire, according to Britannia.com, the radiant energy from such an explosion would be enough to ignite forests, but the subsequent blast wave would quickly overtake the fires and extinguish them. Thus, the Tunguska blast charred the forest, but did not produce a sustained fire. It's cool that we can figure all this stuff out afterwards, right? It's like, that seems really crazy. And then you're like, yeah, this happens and that happens. And you're like, oh yeah, it makes sense. The Tunguska effect. Even though we basically know what caused the explosion over the Tunguska River area, the event and region is still referenced in popular culture as some sort of mysterious thing. It's been mentioned in Doctor Who, and there was an episode of The X-Files called Tunguska involving black oil, possible alien bacteria found in a meteorite, and experiments on prisoners. Only The X-Files. I played a game on my old Nintendo DS called Secret Files Tunguska. However, I don't think I ever finished the game, as it's one where you can't move on until you've done everything in a certain area. I think I just got stuck at some point. Nowadays, I'll just cheat by looking online. I guess I had more integrity back then. And also, you couldn't just go online. Everyone else remember, what was that website? There was a big website back in the day. I can imagine it in my mind. It was like one of these cheat code websites. Cheat Code CC! And it just had like listings of cheat codes, and in my mind it's like just this old website, and they'd have like walkthroughs, I think, and like completion guides and stuff. This was like one of the first websites that I ever went on, for sure. I wonder if Cheat Code CC is still around. Is it? That'd be amazing. It's not going to look anything like it did in the 90s, is it? Cheat Code CC. Oh, it's still a Google search recommend. It is! It is! Hey! Wow, it does still look dated, even though it's obviously more up to date than it was. I can't believe that's still a thing. Oh, that's amazing. Many authors have used the Tunguska event as inspiration, including the aforementioned Alexander Kazantsev. In 2013, a show called Siberia aired, which was filmed in the style of a reality show. Here's part of the synopsis from IMDb. In 1908, an unexplained event occurred deep in the remote Siberian territory of Tunguska. Now, 100 plus years later, 16 reality show participants descend on Tunguska, unknowing of the land's mysterious past. These contestants from varied walks of life will attempt to battle the elements and each other in a quest to survive the harsh winter and claim a large cash prize. What is initially met with unbridled enthusiasm quickly turns to sheer panic as a series of strange events begin to occur. Oh, okay, so it's like a mockumentary or like a mock reality TV show. It sounds like Alone, you know, that show where they go out in Canada. Canada? It's in Vancouver, right? Vancouver Island?
I don't know.
That's in Canada. Or maybe that's America. There's that weird line, right? Because there was that thing with the war or whatever where Canada got divided. And there's that, I think Vancouver Island, despite being called Vancouver Island, is actually in America, which is odd. Anyway, all these people go to Vancouver Island and they live there with like nothing. It's quite a good TV show. I watched a couple of seasons of it and then it got a bit repetitive, so I stopped watching. But I'll probably go back to that. It's pretty wild. Like, there was one dude who gave up on the first day because there was like a bear. And it's like, yeah, bro. You're me in this show. I'd be out of there first day. I wouldn't spend a night. I'd be like, why did I sign up for this in the first place? And then the answer would, of course, be money. The show actually sounds quite good, but spoiler alert, it was filmed in Canada. Could happen again. We live on a spinning rock surrounded by lots of other spinning, falling, burning and flying things, so what are the chances that another Tunguska event, or something even worse, could occur? Quite high as it turns out, while an extinction level event such as a massive meteorite crashing into us only happens extremely rarely, smaller things make it through all the time. According to the Royal Museum's Greenwich website, the real risk is possibly from the small, more frequent asteroids. We expect a 10-meter meteorite to hit every year, causing a 100-meter crater. Maybe only 1 in 10 would hit a populated area, but considering the average density of England, that once-a-decade strike could still kill 12 people. So, statistically, it's really not worth worrying about. I mean, I feel bad for those 12 people, but it's not going to be you, statistically. In February 2013, a mini Tunguska event took place, again over Russia. Oh, I've heard of this one, this time in Chelyabinsk Oblast area. This was where, like, people had, like, dash cams at this point, right? So there's, like, there's, like, videos of this thing, like, ripping through the sky. Pretty cool. We have lots of photographic and video evidence of it this time, and you can clearly see the meteor enter the Earth's atmosphere before exploding with an intense light that was apparently brighter than the sun. It was about a third the size of the Tunguska meteor and released about 30 times the energy of the Hiroshima atomic bomb. While no deaths were reported, over 7,000 buildings were damaged, with over 1,400 people sustaining injuries relating to the indirect effects caused by the shockwave. Perhaps the most concerning aspect of this event is that no one knew it was coming. Because of its relatively small size and the fact that it was headed our way during the day, the sun disguised it somewhat, and at the time it was not picked up by any observatories on the ground. Luckily, it exploded away from a highly populated area, and humanity got away unscathed again. So, how are we doing 10 years after this last surprise attack? Surely we can blast anything that threatens us out of the sky, right? No shot, it's only been 10 years. We haven't, like, magically built space lasers because of this. No one even died. And even if it did hit a city, the death toll would be in the millions. And it would be terrible, but, I mean, what are you going to do about it? Planetary astronomer Professor Alan Fitzsimmons says, technology has come a long way in terms of how you can detect asteroids, even as small as Chelyabinsk. Whoa! Wow. Okay, never mind, I take it back. In 10 years? But 10 years in science terms, oh, I guess it's a really long time. Because, like, science goes far. I was thinking, like, science moves quite slowly, but it doesn't really, does it? Like, 10 years ago, shit was backwards. We didn't even have ChatGPT. We didn't have ChatGPT this time last year. The past was the worst. But there's still a chance that one could sneak through, and it's quite likely that the next significant asteroid that we have will be unannounced. Well, thanks for that, Alan. That makes me feel so much better, mate. Thank you. There are also other political factors in play now that weren't such hot potatoes in 2013, such as a war in Ukraine and ongoing tensions between the US and China regarding spy balloons and other unidentified flying objects. An unannounced meteor making a cameo appearance could be cause for all kinds of flash responses. But there are systems being put in place which might help us avoid a collision with a near-Earth object, or NEO, or another meteor airburst. In 2022, NASA and Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory tested their DART program, which stands for Double Asteroid Redirection Test, and basically involved crashing a spacecraft into an asteroid to see if it could change its course. And it worked! This is useful for larger asteroids that we know are there, though not the smaller ones, such as those which have got through so far. If you're wondering why these last two events have happened in Russia and not anywhere else, it's not a coincidence. Russia's big. It's because Russia is so big, exactly. The Tunguska area and Chelyabinsk are over 1,500 miles or 2,400 kilometers apart, so not exactly right next to each other. There may have been loads of smaller asteroids that burst over the ocean, and nobody ever knew. NASA is also working on a Near-Earth Object Surveyor, a space telescope which is aiming to be completed by 2028. This will be tasked with looking at potentially dangerous asteroids and comets, though again, the Chelyabinsk meteor was much smaller than the stuff the telescope will be concentrating on, so I suppose we're all just hanging on by the skin of our teeth. In the end, while it's always fun to speculate, the Tunguska event has been satisfactorily explained for a long time, and we just have to cross our fingers and hope that it doesn't happen again. The truth is out there, and in this case, at least, it definitely wasn't aliens. It's never aliens. And also, whether it happens again, it's definitely happening again. It's going to happen again. It happens many times. Like, it's only been 10 years since the last one. And it's going to happen. We just have to hope it doesn't hit some, like, mega super populated city or something. All right? Well, thanks for being here. Hope you enjoyed the episode. And I'll see you next time.
Hello news. Welcome to more. Some of it. I'm News Cody Gremlin Johnston. God, just hang on a second. Sorry. I know it's totes unprofesh. I'm writing a primo sheet. You know, they're called sheets now. Zeets or something. Who cares? I don't know. I mean, I love it, but it's whatever. Anyways, Hitler was not a nice guy. And hashtag TIL. And all right, there. I shooted. Oh, where? I've been permanently suspended from X. Jitter. Zitter. I don't know. Well, shucks with an X and darn with a needless apostrophe. I guess I won't do another deep dive into every tiny personal fault Elon Musk insists on making our problem. Which sucks because they're easy to write. They're plentiful. He's got that new hat thing. God, every single day. The man has an abundance of culture-ruining personal problems. But if Musk won't let me shoot my shot, then I guess I'll talk about all the other guys instead. Did you know there are other garbage tech CEOs? I just learned about this. Apparently, there's a bunch of terrible rich guys who hang out behind the media circus and don't go out of their way to constantly warn everyone that they should not be trusted. Like a bunch of Dilophosauruses with golden parachutes, which is my movie idea. Back off! Operation Dilophosaurus drop. But first, I guess, we got to address the, Guys, I'm not saying Elon font in the room. Terrible tech CEOs that aren't desperate for your attention. Nuts! I said it, didn't I? You win, God. For now. Okay, so here's some more news. Elon is good at getting the bad kind of attention, which is why we've already talked about him on the show before. Here, and also here. Specifically, he's good at doing dumb and reckless stunts that get him heckled to heck, like how he had a giant strobe X installed at Twitter HQ and then had to take it down. Or how he recently reinstated an account that posted child sexual abuse imagery, presumably because it has a ton of followers and is conservative. And while I don't mean to diminish the more dangerous things he's said and done when it comes to Twitter, the anti-Semitism and attack of free speech, for example, too often do we overlook other aspects of Elon Musk. For example, did you know that, along with him being a rich dork who is desperate for attention, Elon Musk is also a terrible CEO? It's true! Tesla is actually built on a foundation of workplace mistreatment and civil rights abuses and safety violations. Musk has illegally fired union organizers and threatened to pull stock options for any workers who try to join them. Tesla has also had more OSHA safety violations than any other US automaker. Even the Explodo Crashomatic, which is a car I made up in a dream about writing a comic book that sold really well and was made into 5 award-winning films. Musk also likes to go DEFCON 3 on whistleblowers. In one case, fabricating a reason to call the cops on an employee who spoke to a journalist. Meanwhile, SpaceX has had a few little pratfalls of its own, and of course by pratfall I mean spaceships going explodo-crash-o-matic in ways that experts say Musk should have easily predicted and avoided. In one case, the FAA refused to grant SpaceX permission to launch, so SpaceX therefore they launched anyway. But don't worry, the rocket exploded. But it's hard to focus on every little labor violation or exploding spaceship when there's constantly big, goofy stories about Elon in the news, and that might be his media superpower. He's like a magician at a child's birthday party, distracting you with a spray of colorful scarves while he smacks one of the kids around with his other hand. And the same way he often distracts from his own genuinely insidious leadership, it really seems like Musk also distracts from the terrible actions of other CEOs. Maybe he's a psyop, as Elon would put it when referring to literally anything. A good way to draw focus away from the many misdeeds of these other tech bosses. Of course, most of them just tend to be savvier, flying under the radar, so as to not scare off potential investors who might be hesitant to put their money in the hands of a cartoonish asshole, aka cowards. And so, we're gonna talk about them all today. Or more accurately, a handful that we felt like talking about. And while he's nowhere close to under the radar, let's start with Zuck, just to warm up. Mark Zuckerberg! Taking just one small step away from the center of the spotlight, Mark Zuckerberg has been quietly and passively benefiting from Musk's antics for a long time now. Like how after Musk challenged Zuckerberg to a cage match, Zuckerberg said, "Send me location," and seemed to genuinely try to set up an official fight. Musk resisted attempts to pin down both Zuckerberg and an official location or date, citing the fact that he's going to need an MRI and possibly surgery beforehand, and that he'd first like to do a practice round, to which Zuckerberg publicly wrote, "I think we can all agree Elon isn't serious and it's time to move on. If Elon ever gets serious about a real date and official event, he knows how to reach me." Zuck almost sounds like the cooler dude in that situation, until you remember he's trying to get another tech CEO to follow through on their promise of a public cage match for publicity for them. Mark has never really charmed any segment of the public, or any real-life acquaintance for that matter, or the assistant he pays specifically to be charmed by him. I'm pretty sure he's part corn cream, which, yes, I still haven't cleaned up since that episode we did, and it's rippling. But by simply listening to his PR team, Zuck can often come across as normal or even likable next to Musk. But, and I can't stress this enough, Mark Zuckerberg is not cool and has his own misanthropic Emperor of Mars type tendencies. Long ago, before your aunt started posting image macros of minions next to quotes from Mein Kampf, young Harvard student Mark Zuckerberg created a website called FaceMash. It grabbed photos of unconsenting female students from Harvard and asked the user to rank which was hotter. In a blog post, young Master Zuck wrote, "Some of these people have pretty horrendous Facebook pics. I almost want to put some of these faces next to pictures of farm animals and have people vote on which is more attractive." Fucked up stuff, Mark. Hey Mark, which animal do you look like? Zuckerberg has abused his power repeatedly over his time as CEO. Back in the early days of Facebook, his business card stated, "I'm CEO, bitch," because these dudes fucking love that one Dave Chappelle sketch. In 2004, he had this text conversation with a friend, Zuckerberg. "Yeah, so if you ever need info about anyone at Harvard, just ask. I have over 4,000 emails, pictures, addresses, SNS. Friend, what? How do you manage that one? Zuckerberg, people just submitted it. I don't know why. They trust me. Dumb fucks. No doubt you know some of this stuff. I mean, they made a whole movie about it and he was the villain. He screwed over Spider-Man. You love Spider-Man." In the 2010s, Zuck helmed plans to offer up user data to companies as a way to reward them for spending money on Facebook. And yet, at the same time, Facebook was publicly claiming it took concerns about user privacy seriously. So, yeah, he sucks. And his recent facelift as a normal dude compared to Elon Musk is largely opportunistic. In reality, Zuckerberg has been throwing everything at the wall to see what will stick in terms of building a likable exterior. and placing himself next to an even weirder, eviler dork is the best plan he could come up with. That includes his previous plan of cultivating a manosphere persona by going on Joe Rogan to talk about how much he loves UFC and jiu-jitsu, wrestling friends, and how he thinks that watching television is beta, specifically as opposed to the apparently more alpha social media. So, who said it? Oh, Zuckerberg. Wait, so like the alpha thing to do is to use social media websites, which he owns. Unlike beta television. What a weird thing to say. So, yeah, it's the exact same please like me shit that Elon does. Surely, Mark's decision to finally bro down with his good bud Joe Rogan is not a cynical attempt to rebrand himself after the Cambridge Analytica data collection scandal, or the Facebook propaganda and disinformation scandal, or the antitrust lawsuits due to flagrant attempts at monopolization, or Meta laying off thousands of employees, or the recent embarrassing flop of the metaverse and loss of millions of users. He's just a normal guy with a family and a son that isn't named F-22 Raptor Jet Asimov or some shit like that. Boy, that bar is low and disturbing. Like the corn cream at my feet. Melting my shoes. Tickling my toes. Ow. Ow. Ugh. Okay, so those are like the two main dudes. The easy mode of the guitar hero that is this episode. Now it's time to do some advanced fingering. Guitar fingering, not the sex kind. Both are cool though, and both can help the other. So it's just Fingertown. We're in Fingertown right now. Okay, pop quiz hotshot. Do you know who the CEO of Snapchat is? It's this guy, hotshot. God, you're such a hotshot. His name is Evan Spiegel, yet he is somehow not a youth pastor. He seems like a cool, hip guy. He's not. That's kind of the theme of this episode. Hey, speaking of themes... Evan Spiegel! That classic theme, generic filler music. Evan grew up in a very wealthy family and then used that wealth to take control of the idea for Snapchat from his Stanford classmate Reggie Brown. Spiegel developed it into a company, ousted Brown, and then used his vast legal resources to keep him out of the picture. The worst part is, Reggie couldn't even take screenshots as evidence without Evan being notified. That's not true. It's how Snapchat works. It's Snapchat for you. It's a textbook CEO double cross. The old Zuckerberg shuffle. I mean, who among us hasn't screwed a friend out of equity in a company conceived solely off that friend's idea? Maybe that sort of betrayal just isn't flamboyant enough to be worth our national interest. Are there any other naughty things Evan Spiegel's been up to? Well, in 2014, we got a series of leaked emails by Spiegel when he was in a fraternity at Stanford. But I'm sure that's not totally fucked up stuff, but rather the kind of wise words you have come to expect from a future CEO, such as, "Hope at least 6 girls sucked your dicks last night, because that didn't happen for me." Oh, it didn't happen for him. And "fuck bitches, get laid," as well as, "I thought the whole point was to shoot lasers at fat girls." And that last one was in reference to an anniversary screening of Saving Private Ryan. That's the worst part. But maybe it's a bit unfair to judge Evan Spiegel for some bawdy, youthful emails. Again, I implore you, what college kid hasn't repeatedly and in writing espoused a wanton disrespect for women if 6 or more of them failed to suck their dicks last night? I mean, a lot. I hope. But the point is that Evan could easily have evolved as he took on the mantle of CEO of a company he stole from his friend. He could have. Easily. But he didn't. Instead of juvenile, sexist, frat bro behavior, Spiegel graduated to mature, sexist, tech company behavior, at least according to former employees who, in 2018, alleged that he'd fostered a sexist and toxic workplace. At the time, only 13% of Snapchat's technical workforce and only 22% of upper management were women. Shannon Lubitich, a software engineer who left the company, described a pervading sexist vibe, including company parties that featured female dancers in skimpy outfits, presumably wearing leis and getting lasers shot at them for reasons I will never understand. Fortunately, here at Some More News Systems Incorporated, our parties just feature Warmbo, who pops out of a cake nude with a little top hat on his puppet dick. And yes, I do mean that his dick is another little Warmbo puppet. It's very tasteful. We also have just mountains of coke. Kane. was going to say cane. Mountains of cocaine. But despite the toxic, sexist, awesome work culture under Evan Spiegel, at least Snap Inc. has created a beloved app that is also one of the worst social media platforms when it comes to contributing to feelings of depression, according to a survey conducted in the UK. I guess the beauty of Snapchat is the impermanence of the photos. You can post without worrying that you're leaving a digital footprint. Well, except for the time that Vice's Motherboard investigated and found that multiple Snap employees abused their positions and tools to spy on user data, including location, email addresses, and phone numbers, and private or even deleted photos. But hey, maybe slapping an AI band-aid on it will make things better. Evan Spiegel is currently promoting a new My AI feature that lets users chat with an AI bot concerning sensitive issues, and of course, all the private conversations that bot is privy to are going to be saved and stored by Snap Inc. to be used by advertisers. Lest you're worried this sounds kinda sus, fear not! Snapchat is a classy app, according to Evan, who said in 2017 that this app is only for rich people. I don't want to expand into poor countries like India and Spain, at least as quoted in a legal filing by a former employee. So, racist, but also bad business? Snapchat is extremely popular in India. Like, this popular. It's the top bar. Okay, so he sucks. We can check that off, all right? Inform the core and cream of our findings. Hey, we have information for you. We found it. See, it hears all. The core and cream hears all. And says all. Sees all. So it seems like our first undercover CEO is just as dorky and evil as Zusk and Muck, without even needing the incentive of national notoriety. And now we've done the big three: Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat. Yep, there are no other big tech companies to speak of. Honestly, I have no idea what we're gonna talk about after these ads. What are we gonna, oh my god, you better watch the ads to find out. I will be watching too, so that I too can find out after these ads.
Bazinga! Did I just hear the sound of success? Or maybe it was that dog collar bell I swallowed earlier. Either way, I'm here to tell you about Shopify and their point of sale system. It can be your command center for both your online store and in-person retail shopping. I didn't need the dog, just the collar. And if you hear differently, that's a lie. But what's not a lie is that Shopify can help you track every sale across your business in just one place. Not to mention, they keep track of your inventory and feature plug-and-play tools designed for marketing campaigns on the socials medias. The collar was made of leather, so honestly, it's not that weird a thing for me to eat. Listen, if you have a business, then Shopify will be there every step of the way. That includes their award-winning support team. So sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/more news, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/more news to take your retail business to the next level today. Shopify.com/more news, all lowercase. You don't add all lowercase, you just type it in the lowercase.
Welcome back to some more news, darers. It's the news quiz show that puts hotshots in their place. Always has been. So we talked about the big three tech companies. But what about the smaller, more grown-up tech companies, like Amazon? Yeah, what's the deal with that cat, Jeff Bezos? Nope, no, not anymore, hotshot. Pop quiz, retroactively failed. You died, you fucked it up so bad, hotshot. More like snot shot, you hot snot, you fucking piece of snot. Bezos, the more public face of Amazon, stepped down as CEO in 2021, following decades of bad press for various little goofs like forcing delivery drivers to piss in bottles and offering facial recognition tech to ICE. But don't worry, he's no longer boss man. Now he's simply Jeff, the humble, mild-mannered executive chairman of the largest retailer in the history of the human race. Jeff. The CEO whose name you should be screaming at your screen is a guy named Andy Jassy. So who's this Andy Jassy guy, huh? He sounds fun. Wait. He's not. He will not be getting an intro title, actually. No more intro titles. They don't deserve them. None. All right, Andy. Andy. All right. In fact, Andy's had a long history with Amazon, starting there in 1997 as marketing manager. He then became an advisor to Bezos and was one of Bezos's top executives. Since he's taken the helm, he's overseen the layoffs of 27,000 employees and has done his damnedest to quash the growing labor movement inside Amazon. After the Staten Island Amazon warehouse voted to unionize, Jassie's Amazon, probably illegally, fired some of the labor organizers and has barreled ahead, simply choosing not to recognize the union. The official plan appears to be pretending unions don't exist until they go away. Very similar to how I'm handling the corn cream and the many eggs it appears to be sprouting. Oh. Many eggs was an understatement. Courts have upheld Amazon's union's legitimacy, a ruling the company is expected to fight. When asked about unionization, here's how low-profile CEO Andy Jassy responded.
Well, I mean, I'd say a few things. First of all, of course, it's employees' choice whether or not they want to join a union.
Sorry to interrupt the Andy Jassy, but is it really their choice when you fire organizers and try to fight tooth and nail not to recognize the union? And when you spend over $14 million in anti-union consultation in response to the one warehouse that successfully unionized? That's like saying Tom Hanks chose to eat raw fish and drink his own piss in the movie Castaway. Just because they didn't show him drink his piss doesn't mean he didn't. He loves piss. Or at least to piss. Anyway, sorry for interrupting Mr. Andy Jassy, a man who lives every day hoping people forget his name. Do go on.
We happen to think they're better off not doing so for a couple reasons, at least. First, a place like Amazon empowers employees. If they see something they can do better for customers or for themselves, they can go meet in a room, decide how to change it, and change it. That type of empowerment doesn't happen when you have unions. It's much more bureaucratic. It's much slower.
Oh, I see. Unions make it harder for workers to improve things for customers. Oh, and I guess for themselves too. So it's apparently super easy for workers to change things around Amazon without even needing a union, which must be why Amazon fired the employees who tried to advocate for safer working conditions, given the many OSHA violations and high workplace accident rates at Amazon warehouses, and then lied about it by hiding data on injuries. It's all airtight, baby! Astute news perverts may recognize those as all the exact same things Zuck and Musk do, but Amazon CEO Andy Jassy is doing it quietly. So I guess it's kind of a dignified oppression.
I also think people are better off having direct connections with their managers. You think about work differently, you have relationships that are different. We get to hear from a lot of people as opposed to it all being filtered through one voice.
Oh yes, having closer, more personal relationships with management. So management can use nearly constant surveillance to track how many minutes workers spend in the bathroom, or to issue citations for talking to another Amazon associate, or going to the wrong floor of the warehouse. These aren't bits, by the way. These are all documented citations issued by Amazon management against their own workers. You gotta love the healthy team building activity of banning asking Brian if he caught the game last night, and timing how long your shits are, and getting written up if your poop breaks the 5-minute rule. Dang it! I had Katie time that with a stopwatch in confidence. Anyway, unlike Musk, Andy Jassy at least knows how to curate his social media presence to blend in as human. For example, he tweet-X'd about relevant social justice issues of the day, stating his sincerely held view that police murdering black people is wrong, and that America throwing everybody, especially minorities, in prison might be bad. Good stuff, Mr. Jassy. Very normal. Basic, but much better than openly courting Nazis like Elon Musk. Of course, despite tweaking things that sound compassionate, when it actually comes to making the world a better place, given Jassy's immense power as the CEO of one of the biggest companies in the world, he goes ahead and does the typical evil corporation stuff you probably could have predicted if you've seen any episode of Captain Planet or political cartoon drawn after the woke 1880s. Like how Amazon's lowest paid employees are disproportionately Black, Latino, Native American, and women. And while Mr. Jassy likes to talk about Amazon's commitment to renewables, before he was CEO, he openly courted the oil and gas industries and stopped pursuing renewables during Trump's term as president. No surprise, of course. Whatever the CEO says, he's actually going to make the choices that best serve Amazon's immediate bottom line and please the shareholders in the short term. Because the CEO is just a robot made of flesh and some sawdust hired to make money without any moral or philosophical hang-ups. It's like that fable with the scorpion who fucks the frog to death in the pool. Wild Things, I think it was. So, do CEOs ever face consequences for being ghouls? Well, if by consequences you mean being allowed to resign and sell off shares, thereby earning $2.5 billion for fostering a workplace culture where sexual harassment ran rampant, ignoring the claims of victims, and being at the wheel when Uber executives tried to smear a victim of sexual assault committed by an Uber driver, then yes, obviously they face consequences in those cases. Travis Kalanick, the ex-CEO of Uber and ex-Uber board member, stepped down in 2017 and severed his ties with the company in 2019, following all these scandals and more, including the time he berated an Uber driver who was complaining about low wages.
You know what?
What?
Some people don't like to take responsibility for
I
their
take
They
responsibility.
blame everything
But
in
why
their
you
life on
sending an
somebody
email
else.
for town card?
Good luck.
Good luck to you too, but I know you don't gonna go far.
Quote, some people don't like to take responsibility for their own shit. They blame everything in their life on somebody else. Good luck. Cool guy. Anyway, Travis Kalanick resigned and took $2.5 billion and sold shares with him, which I guess is the CEO version of taking responsibility for your own shit. Kalanick was replaced by Dara Khosrowshahi in 2017, who wanted to give Uber a facelift. And so instead of a sneering company that openly exploits its workers, it became a friendly, smiling company that quietly exploits its workers. He's the cool dad of Silicon Valley, according to New York Times columnist Maureen Dowd. And I assume by dad, she means he requires the drivers he fucks over to call him car daddy in all official company communications. Under Daddy Khosrowshahi's leadership, Uber spent millions in ad campaigns to successfully promote a 2020 California proposition which exempted them from a new law that would have forced rideshare companies to recognize their drivers as employees and offer them benefits. The ads were purposefully designed to trick voters into thinking they were voting for drivers to receive benefits. So wait, you're saying if you spend enough money, you can say voting for a thing is voting against a thing? That's neat. That's neat for America. America is so neat for itself. CEO Khosrowshahi said that it was necessary for Uber to get an exemption from the workers' rights law, claiming that the law would have caused 1 million drivers to lose their jobs. Nothing to be done. But last year, he reassured analysts and shareholders that Uber isn't worried about proposed EU regulations requiring the same thing, to recognize their contractors as employees with benefits. Khosrowshahi said, "We can make any model work. We really can, because our marketplace is incredibly flexible. So any model can work economically for us. This is about what our drivers want and what couriers want, and they want flexibility. So we would very much prefer it because they prefer it. So in America, this would have devastated their drivers, but in the EU, it's fine. NBT, right? It's Europe. So it seems like a liar, I guess, is my point. But at least he wasn't caught on camera telling a disgruntled, bankrupt, not legally an employee, some people don't like to take responsibility for their own shit. So, progress. Speaking of exploiting contract workers, you should Google exploits contract workers. Or maybe Bing it due to the conflict of interest. Or you know what, actually, just don't do anything since I'm going to talk about it right now. P-Quiz, hot S. Do you know who Google's CEO is? Hint. He's a lot less notorious than Musk or Bezos, but no less dickish to his employees. His name is Sundar Pichai, and he's been involved with Google since 2004, when he was the VP of Product Development. In 2015, Sundar became the CEO of Google, and then he became CEO of Alphabet Inc., Google's parent company, in 2019. What you need to know is that Google has a huge army of shadow workers, which sounds cool and spooky, like they're sexy vampires. But really, it's just a bunch of contract workers who don't get benefits and are paid poorly and treated poorly and strung along indefinitely as a matter of company policy. I don't know, maybe some of them are vampires. We just don't have all the information. Around half of Google's workforce are shadow workers who do not receive benefits, paid time off, or wages competitive with full-time workers, possibly vampires. These contract workers are literally made to wear red badges like they're throwaway Star Trek characters about to get eaten by a rampaging Snard Garlax. That's right, Snard. We're watching you too, pal. Eyes on Snard. Anyway, these red badge shadow workers are actually treated worse than red shirts, because in 2018, they were excluded from the real-time security updates during a freaking mass shooting at YouTube headquarters, as well as excluded from the town hall meeting afterward, during a mass shooting. You know, just in case the contractors hadn't yet received the message that Google does not see them as people, they literally refuse to send them a message or see them as people. Always be cowering, waiting for a security update. Alphabet also systematically underpays female workers despite violating federal law, and has illegally tried to avoid paying their workers required minimum wages in dozens of countries. How can they get away with treating workers like disposable handy wipes? Well, Sundar Pichai's Google is also working hard at maintaining a monopoly in the tech field, and has basically become the singularly dominant company in the digital ad market through anti-competitive strategies and mergers. This allows Google to own one of the few remaining avenues to making money on the internet, which poses a bit of a problem. Like, if you want to be able to freely post content and not worry about having to go through Google for your ads, you'd have to do something wild like chug a green frothy drink every week. Delicious! Thick froth, might I add. Ha ha ha! Glug glug, slurp slurp. Fun fact, I am in no way required to drink anything during the ads, but I do, for you. But mainly for the corn cream, actually. The corn cream demands it, and it's demanding it now. No, not this week! There's no ad for that this week! Anywho, the US and EU have been tentatively trying to break up Google's monopoly power for a while. US regulators are currently trying to force Google to sell off some of their digital advertising business, given that the acquisition or elimination of their competitors violated antitrust laws. In response, Google, Facebook, and Amazon, respectively headed by our good friends Sundar Pichai, Mark Zuckerberg, and Andy Jassy, have spent millions to lobby against antitrust legislation, and have successfully killed the two main anti-monopoly bills, each of which were decades in the making. Sundar even personally met with lawmakers to discourage them from passing the bill. Know who else was there? That's right, our next profile in pathology, CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, who prefers you think of him as Timmy Apples, so please always do. Because again, the cream demands. It speaks clearly and constantly to me as it grows around my feet. We are becoming one? No. It's simply swelling and pulsing with life. And it devours. Chilling. But that's just work stuff. We all got our masters, be them a clueless CEO or a puddle of mysterious fluids that appears to be evolving into a complex organism, or these next sponsors. So after a quick break, we will peel back yet another layer of paint to get a fix on some more CEOs of some more famous companies doing some more worse stuff. It's a Russian nesting doll of anonymous monsters, which is a toy idea that I've copyrighted, thank you very much. Operation Russian nesting doll of anonymous monsters drop. It's not as catchy, but it's a little catchy. Enjoy the ads.
Okay. Settle down, everyone. Settle down. It's Katie Stoll. I don't want any sass or guff or capering. You hear? I just want to tell you about patreon.com/somemorenews. It's our Patreon, you see? And if you sign up for our $5 tier, you can get access to episodes of Some More News and even more news completely ad-free and early. You see why I didn't want any tomfoolery? I bet you feel like a real jerk right now. Well, now that I've humbled you, I should also inform you that we have other tiers on our Patreon as well. Tiers that can get your name in the credits and even have a virtual hangout with myself and the rest of the Some More News crew. So why don't you take a look now? Why don't you? And look over there at patreon.com/somemorenews. That's the web address. You type it in the thing, you know, the thing that you might be watching this thing on. You know, you type it in there. Patreon.com/somemorenews. You go there. I'm Katie, and I don't take kindly to shenanigans.
Hi again, it's me, Cody Johnston. From the news and your dreams. Before the break, we were just chatting amiably about how a cadre of invisible CEOs are busily trying to crowdsource every industry to the point that no one on the planet qualifies for health benefits while simultaneously playing Batman against anti-monopoly measures. This, of course, led us to Apple, then Tim Cook, aka Timothy Apples. Mr. Apples has been with Apple since 1998 and became CEO in 2011 following Steve Jobs' death. Tim has made himself much less of an icon than Steve, probably because he went with a black polo and jeans rather than a black mock turtleneck and jeans. You biffed it, Timmy Apps! Ah, you biffing it everywhere. Tim Apple. But don't let that polo fool you, folks. Tim's not as boring as it seems. At least when it comes to the zany world of tax evasion. The secret is stashing Apple's huge profits into overseas tax havens to avoid paying tens of billions of dollars in US taxes. Of course! Why didn't we do that? Wait, do we do that? Well, we'll look into doing that. Obviously, Tim Cook isn't the only CEO doing this. Like we are eventually going to. We're all CEOs here. But he is especially good at this. And can you blame a man for excelling at his craft? In 2013, Cook was dragged before Congress over the tax scheme and viciously complimented by lawmakers who took turns praising him for the iPhone as if that was the purpose of the meeting. Former Democratic Michigan Senator Carl Levin said, "We love the iPhone and the iPad." And former Republican Senator John McCain told Tim Cook, "You have to be a pretty smart guy and a pretty tough guy too." And I say that in a complimentary way. Good, because that almost sounded like an insult. Oh no, wait. At no moment did that veer anywhere near being an insult. You're tough and you're smart and I love you and I want to kiss you, but like as a compliment. Also, do these people think that Cook designed the iPhone? I mean, I get it. White people look the same, but like that's not the order of events. Then there's Senator Rand Paul, who dropped to his knees, gargled Tim Cook's apples, and said aloud, as it was simultaneously tattooed across his forehead, "I'm offended by the spectacle of dragging in Apple executives. What we need to do is apologize to Apple and compliment them for the job creation they're doing." So, yeah, that all turned out fine for Tim Cook, who doesn't feel bad about not paying taxes because he thinks the corporate tax rate for companies is unfair anyway, and swears he won't bring the money he stashed overseas back to the US until tax rates are slashed. So that'll teach us for daring to tax the wealthy. Okay. Tim Cook's Apple has also engaged in typical corporate skullduggery such as discouraging unions, punishing unionized workers by withholding benefits, retaliating against labor organizers, and allowing their suppliers to defy laws protecting laborers in China. Tim Cook addressed concerns about labor exploitation in China by saying, "I think that we have a responsibility as a business to do business with as many places as we can. I believe in what former IBM CEO Tom Watson said, world peace through world trade. And also, that's part of the complexity and part of the beauty of the world is that everybody has their own laws and customs." You see, Apple has to exploit labor in China because the world is beautiful. He's like the kid in American Beauty, you know? And hey, you know, you don't want to be culturally insensitive and not exploit labor, do you? Exploiting people in different countries in the manner by which they are used to being exploited is just part of the whole global respect thing. It's for world peace. We are the world. Are you against world peace? Along with solving world peace, Tim Cook has also personally written to his employees discouraging them from leaking information about harassment within the company. After over 500 employees submitted complaints of sexual harassment, verbal abuse, discrimination, and retaliation, there was an all-hands meeting during which few of the workers' concerns were addressed, and after which Applejacks wrote an email warning employees that Apple would not tolerate disclosures of confidential information, whether it's product IP or the details of a confidential meeting. It's a form of intimidation that probably violated the National Labor Relations Act. Maybe T. Cookie will be dragged before Congress again and get publicly filleted by senators from both sides of the aisle. That'll learn them. So that's Apple. We defeated Apple. They're out of business now because of what we just said. Good luck out there without a phone or a computer with $700 wheels on it. Now I'm going to talk about a tech company that you will be truly shocked to hear may sometimes be less than totally ethical. The telecommunications company Comcast. The CEO of Comcast, William Johns, is a Nepo baby. You didn't know that though, because his name is so generic, I actually just made it up. His real name is Brian Roberts. Or is it? It is. And in 2004, Roberts was handed the reins of Comcast from the founder, his papa, then spent his entire tenure trying to consume other companies while shouting, "Are you looking? Are you looking, Dad? I'm about to do it! Papa!" Roberts tried to do a hostile takeover of Disney. It didn't work. He tried to acquire Time Warner Cable. Also didn't work. And tried to buy NBC Universal. And that one worked. Ha! Far from being a fail son. He's managed to consolidate power and make Comcast the largest internet provider and cable company in the United States. Not satisfied with this level of dominance, Brian William Johns Roberts successfully lobbied to end net neutrality. Net neutrality means that internet service providers like Comcast aren't allowed to throttle internet speed based on the website, platform, application, or device being used. So, for instance, if Comcast got mad at us because we started calling them cum crust, net neutrality laws would prevent them from retaliating by slowing down our website, tpublic.com/stores/somemorenews, where we sell our famous cum crust t-shirts, or rather, where we will be selling the cum crust t-shirts that we obviously now have to design and make available for you. Our second cum-based t-shirt. Congratulations to us for that milestone. What a fascinating, incredible historical moment that we're all a part of this now. You saw it. You remember because I dropped the pen during it, and I never do that. Despite the overwhelming popularity of net neutrality, Cumcrust lobbied Congress during the Trump administration to end it entirely, hoping Trump's Federal Communications Commission would be more likely to repeal Obama-era net neutrality regulation. And they were right! After spending upwards of $30 million on lobbying in 2017 and 2018, Trump's FCC under Ajit Pai rolled back net neutrality and allowed internet service providers to create separate slow and fast lanes on the internet, prioritizing preferred websites over those of competitors. Immediately after their lobbying paid off, Comcast deleted a pro-net neutrality pledge on their website. It's just the kind of class you've come to expect from Cumcrust. But alas, Biden would later issue an executive order urging the FCC to reinstate net neutrality. But for most of his presidency, his FCC appointments have been blocked, defanging the order. Recently, his appointee Ana Gomez was confirmed, giving him a Democratic majority at the FCC. This means net neutrality may come back soon, and a certain crusty company may have to undelete a certain pledge. We're still making the shirts, even if they do, though. We're still making the shirts. The thing with Brian Roberts is, despite how he's personally tried to make the internet worse in the name of profit, you, a person watching a news show that only exists on the internet, still may not have heard of him. He keeps a very low profile and often impresses reporters with his appealing earnestness and lack of pretense. Former Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell, a Democrat, described him as an amazingly self-effacing guy who didn't mind riding in coach on the train. It's as if you can throw in a gosh here and a shucks there, and everyone will forget you're a union-busting plutocrat. The sly CEOs like Brian Roberts may be less obviously villainous than the exuberantly idiotic Elon Musks of the world, but appealing earnestness doesn't really change the underlying awful. Case in point, Roberts' compensation at over $32 million a year is 385 times that of the median white-collar Comcast employee. I'd be as f***ing earnest as you want me to be if I was paid that much for essentially doing my best to make the internet shittier for everybody that uses it. So, buy my cum crust t-shirts to make that beautiful dream a reality. Just the fact that CEOs like Brian Roberts really believe they're worth 385 times their employees should tell you they're not good folks. And Captain Cumcrust isn't alone. In 2017, Snap CEO Evan Spiegel earned $638 million. Currently, the average employee salary is about $90K per year. So even without adjusting for inflation, Spiegel made... Can I get my f***ing pen back, please? Spiegel made over 7,000 times that of his average employee. Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi earned over $24 million in 2022, while the median Uber driver makes under $40,000, meaning the CEO earns over 600 times that of the workers that make the lifeblood of the company. So if you were afraid that Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg were the only CEOs capable of throwing their shit around like a dead, tortured monkey Neuralink to the brain of Jackson Pollock, don't. And of course, ghoulish statements by low-key CEOs are certainly not confined to just the tech sector. We sort of just picked tech as a theme, so this video wasn't 12 hours long. Take property developer and CEO of Gerner Group, Tim Gerner, who spoke at a property summit and said this out loud in front of a camera to people.
We need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40-50% in my view. We need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for the employer, not the other way around. I mean, there's been a systematic change where employees feel the employer is extremely lucky to have them, as opposed to the other way around.
Very cool and normal non-villain stuff. By the way, Tim Gerner's the original avocado toast guy. You know, the guy! He went viral saying millennials can't afford housing because they eat too much avocado toast. So maybe he's not simply saying out loud what our capitalist class really thinks. Maybe he's just acting like an idiot for attention, which would also explain the hair. Very Musk of him, if that's the case. Masterful gambit. Then there are those anonymous studio execs who said they're fine with writers being on strike until they're homeless. And last but certainly not least, don't forget airline Ryanair CEO Michael O'Leary, who said, "You're not getting a refund, so fuck off. We don't want to hear your sob stories. What part of no refund don't you understand?" He needs that non-refundable ticket money though, you guys, as he's also gone on the record saying, "I'm Europe's most underpaid and underappreciated boss. I'm paid about 20 times more than the average Ryanair employee, and I think the gap should be wider." Hey bud, so do we. Of course, I'm referring to the gap that opens in the earth under evil tech CEOs and sucks them all down to hell when the rapture happens. And it will happen. The corn cream has told me so. But until then, we can at least shine some light on these insufferable turds. After all, just because you don't know the name of the person ruining your life doesn't mean they don't exist. Keeping at least a little public pressure on these lesser-known villains is a filthy, disgusting job. But someone has to do it, and I guess that someone is me. Honestly, if I'm being real now, I'm probably the internet's most underpaid and underappreciated news host. I'm paid about 20 times more than the average title monkey, and I think the gap should be wider. I mean, if anything, I should be compensated for my shoes, which are currently melting into the corn cream, which is congealing? Looks like... Oh, I really hope those are tadpoles and not giant sperm. Oh, they look a little like giant sperm. But maybe they're weird tadpoles. Great, cool. All right, I should sheet about this. There's no like follow-up bit. I'm really focusing really hard on this sheet. It's gonna be a good one. What's your opinion on stuff? And that reply ad revenue is going to come rolling in. Engagement. The giant Warmbo sperm set up a net and they're playing badminton in my kitchen? I didn't have a badminton net. Where'd they get that? Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. That'd really help us out. Also, leave a nice comment. That'd really make us feel good, I guess. We've got patreon.com/some more news. Check us out. Ad-free stuff, early access videos, things of that nature. We've got a podcast called Even More News. You can listen to this show, Some More News, as a podcast. Both of those are where the podcasts live. So go knocking on that door and say, hi, can Some More News and Even More News come hang out and play? And they will, in turn, say, why, yes, download. Oh, what are we talking about? We got merch, I mentioned, in the episode, and now here, I guess we're going to do that cum crust thing. And there's other stuff there available. It's a little more appropriate for public. But, you know what's not appropriate for the public? This sexy game of sperm badminton going on over there. Hey, guys! Gross.